What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Monday night live stream. Hope everyone is doing well. All right. So, there's a okay. I have this video of Myron Gaines. He is one half of the Fresh and Fit podcast duo. I have a video of him. I guess he's doing a tour, uh, talking to college students and stuff. Seems interesting. I wanted to watch it, so I figured why not watch it with you guys. Why not watch it together? So I think it's fun. I I like the guy. I'm not gonna say that I agree with him 100% on everything, but he a lot of times he makes sense. Um, so I don't have such a hate for him, but the I think mainstream as a whole, I think he's rather hated. He's rather hated. He's rather blunt. He um he's rather blunt. Okay, that's probably it. He's rather blunt, so a lot of people don't like his point of view, and I think he caters to, let's say, if you want to be a high value man mindset. So his view of, you know what, you know, be with multiple women, um, you know, I mean, be at the status of a high value man, and then if you want to date more, I mean, which is also understandable. So I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I think his viewpoints are pretty interesting, and like I said, I don't agree with 100%, but a lot of things make sense to me. But no one has to agree with him, you know. So, but let's let's check it out. I kind of like it. I just know that a lot of people do hate him. Um, so see, let's check it out.
Thank you for perpetrating the stereotypes, Shaniqua.
Where's Fresh?
What was that?
Where's Fresh?
Where's Fresh? Definitely not with a Shaniqua, I'll tell you that. You know, a lot of people might not want to necessarily have their views tested, or they don't want to get heckled, or they're afraid of public speaking. But for me, I've been in way worse positions. You know, I've been.
No, no, not this one. This one. Sorry, wrong one. I mean, I'm gonna react to that one, but I don't know about I'm gonna react to that one on this stream.
Money, lost a lot of support, both financially and in his career, lost roles. And, you know, everyone believed Amber Heard, a.k.a. Amber Turd. And what ended up happening was he took it to trial, and it was one of But yeah, anyway, besides me just yapping, anyone that wants to come up and, you know, challenge one of my views or agrees, disagrees, give your 2 cents, you're more than welcome. I think all of you guys are, you know, somewhat smart. You're here in college, right? Unless you cheated on your SATs. But is this still SATs or ACTs now? It's SAT. Okay. Damn, I'm old. So I know different places take the ACT, but yeah. Oh, look at that. Everybody's scared, man. They were mad before. Oh, this guy's a misogynist. He's a sec. What's up, man? How are you? I guess I could come into that after.
It's my work.
What's up, bro?
Work. I seen some of your podcasts and stuff like that. I haven't watched the full thing, but I really just want to know, like, why do you think women deserve less? Because it's like a controversial. Obviously, it's gonna catch people's attention.
Sure.
You know, they see it. And
Sure. When I say women deserve,
Yo, Alvi, what's up, my brother? Question: am I the only one that looks like I'm new to Facebook? Bro, I don't know. I wouldn't. I really don't understand the question.
Less.
Oh, what's up, my brother? It's been a while. I hope you're doing well.
It's for a multitude of different reasons, but I'll just focus on, like, let's say dating for now, right? So guys have this, you know, warped ideology that being a gentleman and being super nice and, you know, being caring makes you more attractive to women. But the reality is, you know, attraction and arousal are two different things. And by being a nice guy, what ends up happening a lot of times is you get stuck in the friend zone. And what I tell guys, and I talk about this in my book, Guys Gotta Give Women Less. If you look at the cover, you know, I have money there, relationships, social media, and time. And the reason for that is because we live in a deregulated sexual marketplace. And what that basically means is, assuming two parties are have the age of consent, anyone could hook up. Now,
Oh, God, Alvi, I've been I had a strike. Okay, I've been I guess temporarily banned from YouTube partnership. Okay, so if you do want to support, which you don't have to, okay, which you don't have to, if you do want to support, like you know, those are the best way to support right now. I won't be able to reapply for YouTube partnership until mid-June. YouTube was angry with with a couple of videos I made, so it is what it is. It gave me a strike, so they temporarily banned me. You know, whatever. It is what it is. You know, it, like I said, I did this for a hobby. The support helps, right? The support helps because who knows, in the future I would want to, you know, make this a full-time thing because I want to stream like every day, but this isn't my full-time thing. So yes, it is what it is. But again, I do this as a hobby. You know, I care for my brothers and I just like making these videos. So, you know, but yeah, that is what it is. I mean, I sometimes, like, YouTube does this to me sometimes. Like, sometimes they shadow ban me, like, because I can see it, right? There's videos that I'm getting like hundreds to thousands of views, and then boom, it drops off. And then, you know, there's sometimes where I'm getting like dozens to hundreds of subscribers, and boom, it drops off. So it's like the algorithm is playing around with me. So when I did a video, you know, live streams and videos that they didn't like, boom, they temporarily banned me. So, you know, it is what it is.
we thought this would be a good idea in the 60s with the explosion of feminism and birth control, etc. But what ended up happening was, when you leave women to their own devices, they date the best guys that they can get. And that problem's been exacerbated as they become more educated and made more money. So it's left a lot of normal guys out of the realm. So what I tell guys is, you need a woman that's going to reciprocate that attention, because we're in a position now where they have all the leverage, and a lot of guys are over here courting and dealing with women that, quite frankly, don't deserve it. So when I say women deserve less, you know, there's other aspects too, but that's what I mean, as in, like, dating. Don't simp on women that already get everything given to them. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, isn't that just like a generalization though? Because I feel like it's case specific with every person. Like when you say that, it's like you matching one archetype of men with another archetype of women, and then you making that the case for everybody.
Well, I think the world operates on generalities, right? There's a reason why Braille isn't everywhere, because there's not that many blind people, right? So, you know, in general, you know, being a nice guy is going to set you back. Now, are there some girls out there that are, you know, will reward you and give you sex and a blowjob for being a nice guy? Sure. But the reality is, being a nice guy typically always puts you on your back foot. And I think in today's day and age, where women have an enormous amount of leverage in the dating marketplace, guys need to kind of go in there with their eyes wide open so they don't put themselves in a bad situation. So generalizations are typically how the world works. Of course, there's always going to be anomalies. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. But I think in general, men need to operate from a position where they're mitigating risk and not investing too much up front. Because we have way more on the line than women do when we get in relationships.
So you say, like, sex, do you think that's the the end goal of a relationship? Like, where do you view that?
Well, it's the main agency that women have.
What if you don't give them that agency though? If you have like different priorities, generally, like
The man or the
Yeah,
woman?
the man.
Okay, what do you mean by that? If you can kind of.
Like, if you don't go into a relationship just expecting to get that out of it, then there's really no leverage there if that's not something you really want out of that person.
Well, a lot of the time that's cope, right? So like guys will sit there and they'll be taking a girl on her seventh date. They've been talking for like 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, and they'll sit there and cope, be like, oh no, like I'm just building something up. But the reality is she's fucking some other guy, right? And the reality is that men need to understand that women, right? They sell purity, they sell sugar and spice and everything nice. But what will happen is they'll open themselves up sexually to the men that they respect and are aroused by, and then make the nice guy wait, right? And they're able to kind of double dip doing that. So I think with guys, they got to basically push for sex fairly quickly in a relationship to ensure that they're not getting used.
I think with
Because
Joe,
that is their main, I mean, just let's be honest here. Like, that is their main commodity, their main agency. Like,
I wouldn't
if
say
women
that.
didn't have vaginas, we wouldn't care. No one would talk to them.
I wouldn't say that because that's like half the population. You just like dehumanizing half the population with that statement.
I mean, well, it's the reality. We're put on Earth to procreate, correct? So men, our job is to provide resources. Their job is to extract resources, and it's been this way since the beginning of time. The only reason we're able to have this whole, moral situation is because of modernity and the access to technology and how we progressed. But the reality is, in times of
Let me say this, right? I've said this before. I said this in the beginning. It's not like I agree with a lot of things Myron says. I don't agree with everything. Yes, we have women's main power is sex. But this is a thing where I think we have evolution plays a part. In the sense that I don't think if men only want sex from women, then relationships, all that shit would be out the window. You could just pay for it. You might as well just pay for it. Because what's the point? Okay? What's the point of dealing with all the other stuff if all you want is sex? Because it's a hassle. So a lot of times this is the thing where it's part of companionship. This is a thing where zookeepers. I don't know. It's just this is a thing where, like I said, I think we have grown to a part where we have to think about this, right? People in general, okay, the average person, it's about companionship. Sex is great. Sex is important, but again, if you're with someone only for sex, it gets dry. It gets like, what's the point? It gets to become, what's the point? So this is one thing where I do disagree with him on, where there's got to be more compatibility. Now, like I said, sex is important. I personally have broken up, or hated relationships because sex has disappeared. But that doesn't mean that I still love the person, because I still wanted the person, because I love their personality. I love, all the other stuff. But the problem is, yes, sex is important, but it can't just be the only thing. So that's the thing where where I would disagree with.
times are not peaceful, we get closer and closer to our traditional gender roles, right? There is no feminism when the lights are off. There is no feminism with war. There is no feminism when it comes to preserving society and moving on forward. So, the reality is that that's why the genders deal with each other. Men provide resources, women provide access to sex.
I'm gonna come back. But
Okay, no problem. Yeah, thank you for coming up, though, man. It's brave to do that. So, shout out to you. And you when you come back up, say your name. Hi.
Hey, so I really think your ideology is interesting. How do I apply it to my lesbian relationships?
Okay. What is the goal? Is the goal to get married? Is the goal to have a serious long-term boyfriend that will, what's the goal?
It's to have a lesbian relationship.
Oh, well, you guys are useless to society, so.
That's kind of why I believe he is one of the most hated male content creators. He's blunt. Technically correct. Technically correct. I mean, here's the thing. Gay relationships, lesbian relationships, they are useless to society. You don't produce anything. I mean, you don't produce the next generation. If everyone was gay and lesbian, human race would die already.
So should I value her less or more?
Well, I mean, you know, you guys can scissor and talk and have a good time, but you guys don't really provide for society.
Okay, so thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, if you're not contributing to a nuclear family, you're effectively useless to society, being honest. Also, I don't think lesbianism is real. I think it's just confusion a lot of the times. Because the reality is, like, see, because I've interviewed maybe almost 4,000 girls on my show, and girls that say that they're lesbian or bisexual, I always like to ask them, well, if you had to pick one gender for the rest of your life, who are you going to pick? And 9 out of 10 times it's the men, and the reason why is because men have to provide value in a relationship. Women don't, a lot of the times. Like with us, we have a multifaceted list of things that we have to bring to the table, whether it's being tall, strong, competent, financial resources. Men have to rise to the occasion to be able to get attention from the opposite gender. Women don't. So what ends up happening a lot of the times when there's lesbian or bisexual couples and are dating with women, the bar is low and they don't really provide value to each other. And then when the check comes, they're both looking at each other confused. So, you know, there's a reason why lesbians have some of the highest rates of domestic violence. It just doesn't work.
That is a statistic I try to use often, because this is a thing where we need to. I did a TikTok video just recently today, where we do need to break up the propaganda that, oh my God, it's only men. It's men are violent, men are terrible, men are toxic. No, it's human beings. Human beings. Women are equally, if not more violent than men. The problem is men's violence, it shows. Because they're stronger. It just is. Men violence, it shows. Women's violence, it really doesn't show.
Hey, I'm back. I got another question.
Sure.
So,
You want to introduce yourself to the people or not?
oh, my name is Caleb. I'm a civil engineer major.
What's up,
freshman.
Caleb? Welcome.
Yeah.
Where are you from, bro? How old are you?
I'm from Fort Mill, South Carolina. I'm 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So you said like going into a relationship or dating with a woman, not expecting sex is like cope. What is?
Yeah, a
what
lot
is
of
that?
guys. A lot of guys tell themselves that when they're in the friend zone. Like a guy will sit there for like 3 or 4 years, talking to this girl, wanting more. He knows he's stuck in the friend zone, but he just kind of sits there and be like, "No, I'm just gonna be a good friend. I'm gonna sit around. Like I'm just gonna be here."
At that point, it's a matter of self-respect, though. Like if you know you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, why not walk away? But if you do want a friendship for that person,
I agree.
Because women do have value outside of just sex.
No,
then, you know,
I agree with you on that. But the problem is that most guys can't identify when they're being friend zoned. Is my point.
it's easy to identify though. If the relationship not going where you want it to go, then you can walk away.
You got to understand that a lot of guys are socially retarded and not able to understand when a woman isn't that into them. I'm sure every woman in here has been hit on by a guy that made her feel uncomfortable and he just simply didn't get it. And there's a reason for that. Women, you know, the one compliment I will give women is they're socially superior to men. They're able to pick up on things quicker. They're able to read the room better. They're able to assess danger. And the reason for that is because they're the weaker gender physically, right? So since they can't make up for it with strength and brutality, if a dude's a little off, he's like ticking like this or he's a weirdo, women pick up on that immediately and like, okay, danger zone, let me get out of here. So that's why a lot of guys are kind of idiotic when it comes to this stuff and they can't take the signs.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
But is it that women deserve less or men need to know more?
Combination of the two. Men need to understand their value because that is actually, that's the biggest weapon when it comes to dating and intersexual dynamics is a lot of guys don't understand how much value they're bringing to the table versus the woman. A lot of the times, men chronically undervalue themselves while women simultaneously overvalue themselves. You know, if you ask an average girl, hey, what kind of guy do you want? They're going to tell you 6 figures, 6 feet, 6-pack, good looking, good with dogs, asshole that could put me in my place, but at the same time is a nice guy. Like, they're looking for the top 1% guy, but the reality is they're very average. So I think men need to understand that not only do you have
Ivana.
the burden of performance is on you and you have to be attractive, but you also need to understand that you need to be superior to your girl in every way. Because women don't look for equals despite the fact that they say they do. That's a lie.
You got anything to say?
They look for a superior. They don't look for an equal, ever. So by me giving her less, I'm actually giving her what she wants. Surprisingly.
I wouldn't say that's like giving less though. And when you say women deserve less, it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
Here's the thing where look, this is the thing where he goes about things where I think he doesn't explain it in a necessarily a clear, concise way. He explains things in a triggering way. He goes about things in a good, I think, in a more good social media way where it triggers people, makes you watch, it goes good for clips. Because here's the thing where what I say is that women deserve less is that they demand so much. That's the thing. We're not saying that, oh my God, women deserves 100. No. So saying that women deserves less, like instead of giving her 100, giving her 50, it's not like you're giving her 0. That's the thing where saying deserve less is more triggering than saying, you know what, doing 50-50 with a woman in this sense, okay? Where I say this. We have society, yeah, and being blunt, okay, being blunt. But we have a society where women are overestimating themselves. I've said this countless times before. Women have become egotistical. Women have become egotistical, selfish. Even the average women look down upon average men. Average women, these women are not that special. They're average. When they date or look at other average men, they look at those men as below them. Because sometimes they can have sex with the 7s, the 8s, the 9s, the top tier men, and they think that they deserve more. So in a sense, that saying they deserve less is more just saying that you're not giving them the world, in a sense. That's the thing where it's not like you're saying they deserve less as in, oh, don't give them nothing. Okay? That's what would trigger people.
they do. And the thing is that you have to make them earn everything. Because when guys come in, they start simping immediately. They start giving her money, time, attention, all this stuff. She takes that for granted. She doesn't respect it. And if she doesn't respect it, she's not going to respect you.
Okay, let's
And here's
put
the
it-
other thing, too. Since women have so many options, and this has been exacerbated by social media, by the way. Like, this has always been a problem, but in 2025, with the explosion of social media, it's gotten even worse.
I think social media just made it more toxic, but I'll put that off to the side for a second.
Sure.
Let's do a hypothetical. So let's say a guy, he goes into a date, he already knows what he wants, and so in the scenario that you create, this guy he courts her or whatever, they're dating, he's giving her everything that she wants, and she's giving it up to some other guy on the side or whatever.
Yep.
And so
Happens all the time.
the problem is that she values herself more than this guy.
Need more pimps?
Well, I mean, not really. She's basically using him, right? So another dark secret when it comes to modern dating and women in general, how modern women date, is what they'll do is they'll have men in certain categories. They'll compartmentalize men. So one guy will be saved in her phone as Uber, another guy will be saved as pizza, another guy will be saved as sex, another guy will be saved as simp, another guy will be saved as sugar daddy. And, this is a very dark reality that a lot of guys don't understand. But we've gotten to
I'm not saying that I don't, it's not like I'm dealing with college girls like that. So it's not like I can 100% agree. But this is a thing where what he just said, the sugar daddy, believe me or not, I've had college girls, you message me, literally saying they would want me to be their sugar daddy. Okay? They say they want me to pay for their time, give them allowances, and I mean, probably you won't believe me, but I've had that conversation, and I've said my pockets aren't big enough for that. Okay, I've told women, these young women, that honestly, no, my pockets aren't big enough for that. I'm not looking to go broke just for some young ass. So really, And again, these women, these young women know they would exchange it for money. So really, it's like, I'm good.
Point now, thanks to social media and dating apps, etc., where women are able to basically have men
Yeah, hard
in these
pass.
certain roles where they can benefit them. And what I'm saying is, I don't want you being saved as Uber. That's my thing when I talk to guys.
And so, at that point, why is the lesson not how to have self-respect as a man instead of like attacking women?
Well, here's the thing. In order for you to have self-respect, you must give them less.
That's not how self-respect works, though.
No. You
You can value yourself, but without tearing someone else down.
well, you're not tearing her down. You're just mitigating risk and not giving her everything up front. You're making her earn it.
See, that's the thing. See, that's the problem where it sounds, right? It sounds triggering. She deserves less. It's not like you're insulting her to her face. No, it's like, this is the thing where it is true. Men, we do so much to get ass. We do so much to get to a woman. We plan dates. We try to the best. We pay for extravagant dates. We pay for gifts. We pay for rent. And I've done it. Okay, I've been there where I paid for women's rent, utilities, gifts, trips. Just give her money. Get into debt for her. Okay, this is the thing. Giving her less is not going crazy. It's like, you know what? Like you said, mitigating risk. Where if you have self-respect, it's not like it's not like you're calling women out of their name. It sounds triggering, okay, but it's that you're not going overboard. I've seen, okay, and I have a video of it where this guy, a OF, he's like, he subscribes to this woman's OF account, okay? He sent her 10 grand just for a picture and a hug. He sent her 10 grand asking her could he get a picture with her and a hug. That's it. That's it. 10 grand. Seriously. I don't give a shit who you're hugging. I don't care what woman in this world you're hugging. No hug, no picture is worth 10 grand. And then subsequently, she spent that 10 grand on her and her boyfriend to go on a trip. The fuck is that? That's the thing. That's exactly what he's saying. They deserve less. Where men, we shouldn't be going overboard on what we're giving because we're trying to impress the women.
See, I find it interesting that women will sit there and have these super high standards, right? And when you make them work for your validation and your attention, that's looked at as misogynistic. But when women do it, it's looked at as having high standards. Do you notice that? Double standard? So in other words...
I've never experienced that personally.
Well, that's you, man. I mean, you might be better with the girls than other guys, but most men struggle in this situation. Yeah. See? Yeah, you got to remember, man, the average guy is struggling. Like, you might be a smooth talker or whatever. I can see that you're an eloquent young man.
Thank you.
But a lot of guys don't have that skill set. So.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of this, like, the dating philosophy in this time is really like spitting game, and it's really technical. But I think a lot of it is just connection. So when you actually look for that in somebody, then you can get rid of everything else.
Yeah,
it doesn't
but
become a
here's the thing,
competition
man.
or a thing of leverage or anything.
Here's the thing you got to remember. Like, when it comes to, like, connection, remember that, like, 90% of guys can't even get the connection in the first place.
It's just a conversation, though.
But you're not going to have the conversation if she doesn't find you attractive up front. So, like, whenever women talk about, like, men that they like or whatever, or, like, what they're looking for, or the personality traits he's supposed to have, they're talking from the frame of they assume attraction. They assume he's already 6 feet tall and he's good looking or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I don't care. I just want a guy that communicates well. But she's not telling you that he's 6'3" and makes, $50K a month.
Yeah.
She's not telling you that part, right? She's saying she wants a good communicator, but the reality is it's with certain types of men.
That is exactly the point. This is the thing where I have screamed this to the rooftop. I have tried to make this distinction. Women consistently complain about men. But I've tried, all my videos, every time I see a video of women complaining about men, I correct it. I stitch it on like TikTok and stuff and I correct it. No, your complaint isn't men. Your complaint is the man you are attracted to. Your complaint is the man that you want. Because here's the thing. If women want a provider, she can find it. He's out there. If women want a nice guy, he's out there. She can find it. If women want a good communicator, she can find it. He's out there. If women want a man that will marry her, will be a good father, will love her, respect her, will treat her like a fucking queen, she can find him. He's out there. The problem is she attracted to him? Does she want that man? In most cases, she doesn't. She wants the man that she is attracted to. Just so happens the man that she's attracted to, guess what? He's not a good father, doesn't want to marry her, wants to use her, he's maybe abusive, a liar, he's whatever. All the complaints women have about men, it's usually the men that they want. That's why I hate how women frame their point of views or their arguments. Because here's the thing. You are not talking generalizing. You don't generalize because here's the thing. Women consistently use their personal life to, shape their view or opinions of whatever, of men, okay? They use the men that they're attracted to, okay? Or the men that, I don't know, that they interact with to shape their views of all men, which is very stupid.
I think with those women, with that like archetype of women in particular, they're like really shallow. Like me personally, if I see a woman like that,
that's a lot of women.
it's not though, because I know a lot of women who go off of the way a man carries himself or the way he speaks or the things he believes. It's not just how he looks. And part of it is how he looks.
I'm not saying it's just how he looks. It's a complete package. But what I'm saying is that they want them well-rounded in multiple different things. Typically, the more money and status a woman has, or the hotter she is, the pickier she's going to be. And this is even for average women. Average women are looking for an above-average guy 9 out of 10 times. We got 5s looking for 9s. But then if you ask her, what do you rate yourself 1 to 10, she'll say an 11. 11? Like, what the hell? So, that's the problem.
So, have you like met real life examples of these guys who are trying to talk to women and they're not having any success?
A lot. Coached a lot. Literally thousands of them.
So, and what are they doing wrong?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons, right? It could be that they're socially awkward, they don't have their money on point, they're fat, they don't speak well, they stink. Like, there's many failure points for men to take an L with women. And the thing also that I think that's important is women are pickier now than ever before. So, like, you might have everything in place, but she won't like the color of your socks. Oh, I'm good, So, girls get turned off very easily now because they have the paradox of choice.
Yeah. See, I personally can't speak from these generalizations because I'm speaking from my personal experience.
Of course. And it's anecdotal, so you're going to be limited in what you can, understand.
And there's a thing where, that's all good, Alvy. Thank you for stopping by, my brother. Yo, Just, what's up? That's the thing where a lot of people have to understand. These conversations, stop making it personal. These conversations, you got to stop making it personal. Because then you're ruining the flow of the conversation. Because you're making it about you. Or about the people you know. Right? That's the thing where, let's say even men like this. He's making maybe about the women he knows around him. Which, fine. But here's the thing where I've always said with these arguments. If you know maybe hundreds of thousands of women, then fine. Your point of view, maybe it's valid. Most of the people know a dozen. If that.
Or no, because you're only 19 years old. And trust me, I had that same mindset when I was 19 too. I had this whole, idealism and women are equal to us and everything else like that. But the reality is they're not. If I'm going to be honest, they suck at most things. Men are better than women in almost every regard.
Crazy. I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that's true. And personally, I don't think my viewpoint is idealistic.
We're literally better than them in everything where we compete. That's why they have to have their own separate leagues.
I think...
Yeah, but nobody shows up at WNBA games. The WNBA is literally subsidized by the NBA, right? It's like we like champion mediocrity from females just because we want to be equal, right?
I think we got double standards in gender roles because men and women are good at different things. Not that men are better than this or women suck at this. Like we have different things that we're inclined to.
I mean, yeah, she'll teach you guys how to get cats. That's what she'll teach you guys, how to get cats and get triggered. But the biological reality is men are better than women at most things. Yeah, I mean, hey, you can get on the mic. You get on the mic. She wants to tell you guys about her Siamese cats. We got a Karen in the house. Fantastic. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, yeah, men are better than women at almost every round.
See, this is the thing where Josh, I agree in that sense. Where this is the thing where it's about attraction. If she's attracted to you, she will break rules. If she's attracted to you, she will break her own rules. She will break her own boundaries. If she's not, she will make you stick to her rules. She will stick to her rules. She will stick to her boundaries. That's why you can tell. This is the thing where you can tell if a woman likes you or not. The harder I've said this before, the harder she makes it for you to date her, the harder she makes it for you to date her. The more you know she's not attracted to you. That's it. That's 100% simple. The easier she makes it dating her. Okay, there's no hurdles to climb. Whatever, just whatever. It's just easy. There's no difficulty. She wants you. She's attracted to you.
Of competitive endeavor. It's just the reality, right? And this shows that what they're attracted to as well. Does a woman want a guy that's shorter than her, dumber than her, makes less money than her? No, she's looking for a superior. That's just how it is. It's biology. Now, I know this is like offensive, right, to the left to point out these biological realities, but women are not attracted to men that they're equal to. They'll sit there and say that, but how they behave is two different things. So, what's up, man? How are you? What's your name?
Hi, how are you? My name is Trey. It's nice to meet you.
How are you, Trey?
So I heard your views on lesbians a moment ago, and I'm just curious how those views transfer to gay men. Do you believe they don't exist as well? Because you did say that lesbian relationships cannot exist because men are more multifaceted than women. That was your main argument point on lesbianism prior, and I'm just curious how that carries to.
So, what are my thoughts on gay men?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are kind of useless to society too.
Fair, yeah. I am pretty damn useless.
but
not because I'm not having kids, just because I'm crazy.
Yeah, from the nuclear family perspective, right? I say that kind of as a joke, but yeah, I mean, I think the backbone of any thriving society is the nuclear family, and if people aren't contributing to that, I think it's problematic for society. So gay men and lesbian women don't contribute to that, unfortunately, and I don't think gay men should be able to adopt children either. I think that's crazy. I don't think lesbian women should be able to adopt children either. I think kids need to be protected at all costs, and exposing them to sexual degeneracy is a problem, because that's what homosexuality and lesbianism is. I'm a firm believer that gays and lesbians need to go back in the closet. We don't need that stuff outwardly.
That is a.
You can see why he would be what I would consider probably one of the most hated content creators, and I think feminists should be ones to speak on issues Myron is speaking on. When feminists were making women equal to men, they imagine this is a thing where I think actual feminism. I'm gonna do it because there's a video, right? There's a video that I saved where it is the interviewer or whatever is going to be talking to a feminist, a really stout feminist. Yo, Skull, what's up, my brother? So I'm going to be talking about that video, but this is the thing where this is the thing with women, with feminists, they don't want to be equal to men. No, because in my opinion, men, we are at the bottom. We are at the bottom. No. Women want to be equal to the 1%, the top 1% of men, top percent men. That's what women want to be equal to. They want to be equal to top tier men, not your average man, not the blue collar man, not your everyday man. Okay, not the men that have to work every day, have to struggle, have to go through. No, no, no. Women want to be equal to the top tier men. That is what their goal was. They want power. They don't want equality.
Point of view that you are entitled to. Have a nice day.
Fair enough. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming up. Yeah, I guys, I know it's scary, but like I said, I'll chat with you guys. You got questions on my worldviews or disagree? I'd be happy to have a conversation with anyone.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
Hey, name's Joshua Williams.
What's up, Josh? How are you?
Decent. How about you?
Good, good, good. I like your shirt.
Appreciate it. Wanted to ask you about your main selling point, women deserve less.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit on the first couple chapters of the Bible, Genesis 1 through 5.
Yeah, if you could go through it quick, though, because we don't want to do a Bible study here, man. We got to keep it moving, but yeah.
It is very good. He takes it to another level.
Be the leader, right? Now, you know, I think the problem is that a lot of guys go into relationships thinking that their woman is equal to them and they can split the check and all this other stuff. I'm a big proponent of the nuclear family. I don't think women should work. I think men should be bearing that burden. But the
Women, I think later women will come up, but I think his crowd has just started.
problem is that we have this egalitarian mindset where we're telling men to treat their women as equals, and that's just not how it goes. You know, I'm a big proponent. If you have the authority, if you have the responsibility.
You know, this is a thing where I'm like Skull, where I don't care how people want to live their life, right? I don't care how people want to live their life. Live your life however you want. My thing is right now is that, which I find is crazy, the whole alphabet people is front and centered in society. Everything, every facet of life, every entertainment, magazines, books, TV, movie, music, anything you name has to be about the alphabet people. Has to be about gay, lesbians, trans. It's like, seriously? You are a small percent of the population, but you are center stage in everything. It's like, come on, can you just stop it? That's the thing where I'm just like, now you're trying to push your world into other people's throats. I'm like,
Of taking care of her, you should also have the authority over her to tell her what to do.
Okay.
Because let's be honest here, all the Abrahamic religions know that when you leave a woman to their own devices, they fuck up.
So now, talking about Abrahamic religions, we're gonna focus on the Old Testament and how
Being a wife, and I want guys to focus on, like, when you do identify the woman that's worthy of being your wife, then obviously you give her the world. I'm not saying not to give her everything. But she has to earn that, and that's the problem, is that we just think that girls should get things for having a vagina.
oh, that's the just that, right? What's annoying to me about the alphabet people is everyone think I'm gay for not being that masculine, and I'm quite a few women be wanting to be the gay bestie, and that's annoying. This is the thing where I like to really talk about this, how society is that. Yo, Elk, what's up, my brother? I like to say this. Not every man needs to be a jacked up, hyper masculine, need my guns, need to go fishing, need my, F-150 type of man. That's BS. This is the thing where I think this is the problem with how we are shaping the LGBT alphabet community, right? How young boys, you don't need to be hyper masculine to be a man. This is the thing where I think we are damaging young men, young boys, because, if you are not stereotypical, what society believes as masculine, you must think that you must be a woman. So you must transition into being a woman. That's the thing where that's fucked up. That is effed up, okay? I'm not the most masculine man. My voice isn't the most masculine, voice. I'm not like I'm a geek. I'm a big geek. So really, if I was born into today's day and age, maybe my parents or society would push me to try to be trans, and that's stupid. This is a thing where it is okay back in my day for women to be tomboys, for women to be a bit less feminine. It's not the worst thing ever, okay? For men not to be stereotypical what masculine is. And I think that's it's a detriment now that, oh, if you're not true masculine, you need to be trans to turn into a woman. For a woman, if you're not true feminine, you need to turn into a trans man. It's like, what the fuck? Calm down, okay? It's like there are spectrums of people, okay? Personality is a spectrum. Gender, I think it's just two. In my personal opinion, gender is just man or female. But a spectrum of personalities, that's human beings. We have a spectrum of personalities. It's not stereotypical. Now, yeah, maybe the vast majority of true masculine man is like, yeah, the jacked up, the, liking my guns, liking my F-150, cool. But there is a spectrum of people. And I think the problem is because we think there's a spectrum of people, and I think that's personality. We are using that kind of mindset to make it, oh, there's a spectrum of gender. And I think that's stupid. I think that right there is stupid. To say, oh, if a man is not true masculine, oh, he must be trans. What the fuck is that? No, that's stupid. Yo, Elk, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy.
And I'm here to say, like, no.
And I would say to not necessarily add on, but just add on to my point, I say with when
Pray for them, but what I'm saying is you
down.
don't have to invite that to your house to destroy your household. Pray for her, but like don't let her. Look, one of the worst things a man can do, and this is going to be taboo, but I'm going to say it. One of the worst things you could do is wife up a whore. So, because wifing up promiscuous women will absolutely destroy your life as a man. So my thing is you could pray for them. Obviously, you wish well upon them, but that doesn't mean you need to invite her into your life where she's in a position where she could utterly destroy you.
okay,
Especially with the way the family courts are run and the way that
No, I don't think men are the more beautiful sex. Not in general. Now, there are good-looking men. It's funny, right? I've had so many women, surprisingly, a lot of women who have touched my hands and say, wow, your hands are so soft. What can I do, right? What can I do? I don't have the whole calloused, ruggedly, construction, feeling man hands. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I've had so many women say my hands are crazy soft. And I'm like, okay.
child custody works and alimony and everything else like that, like guys have to be very cautious and careful with who they marry. And they need to reserve it for the women that are worthy. Because, unfortunately, it's not 1955, it's 2025. And women have changed a lot.
oh yeah.
A lot. For the worse.
Yeah. I think that just comes back to once you have your family, once you have the wife that God has set aside.
Less? Oh, man, here we go.
Okay.
Hello.
Do I deserve more or less?
Are you a man or a woman?
I'm asking you. Do I deserve more or less?
Well, probably less.
Even now, when my voice is lower than yours?
Even less now. I knew something was off. Saw that Adam's apple. I was like, oh, here we go. What was that? It's oil in my beard? Color correct. All right. Man, my feelings are hurt. I don't even know what that thing said.
Yeah, I'm not
That
saying
creature.
hello to you, so let's just skip the pleasantries.
Sure.
So why are you?
Yeah, I was going to say, can someone help her?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming up. I appreciate it.
So are your views on women based on data or personal rejection?
Here we go, the whole you're an incel thing. Okay.
Because on a podcast about 2 months ago, didn't you just say you got your first girlfriend and you're like 30?
Wow, she really thinks that's a known. Number one, I've had a girlfriend now for a few years,
I'm
not
so
2
sorry.
months. and it's an open relationship. I do what I want, and she's closed on her end.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, look at all the people here going crazy. So here's the reality, right? So let me give you guys a biological reality here.
What does this have to do with my question?
Women-
I'm asking if your views come from data or rejection, because someone had to hurt you for the way you feel about women.
Oh, so I have to be hurt to be able to establish and tell the truth.
Well, yes.
That's
Sort
interesting.
of, kinda. Was it your mom?
No, actually, you know what's funny? It was my mom that warned me about these hoes. Yeah. It was actually my mom.
So you and your mom are birds.
Me and my mom are birds?
Yeah, bird brains.
All right, interesting. Do you actually have an argument, or do you just want to make ad hominems?
No, I'm just asking questions. You have yet to answer my question.
Well, it
Is
sounded more like
based
a
on-
statement since we're both birds, right?
Well, are your views based on data or personal rejection?
Yeah, they're based on data, obviously experience, anecdotal, talking with almost 4,000 women now at this point. So, you know, and I think every guy here, right, though they might not admit it, will.
And here's the thing where this is the thing with a lot of women. You're not proving a man wrong. I hate this thing where and I did a video saying that this is the problem with a lot of women. You go about things talking, right? Your conversation with your emotions, not logic. Not logic. Because here's the problem. You don't come up to him and, you know what, debate him on his ideals. No, you come up to him and insult him. Oh, you just recently got a girlfriend. So fucking what? Who cares about his personal experience? Okay? Debate him on his ideals. Okay? Because if you think his ideals are wrong and you have logic to back your shit up, go for it. No, but what you come in to do is you come in to a conversation, you insult. Right? This is the problem where Kevin Samuels said it best, right? This is the problem with a lot of women. What is it? It's like what he said? Insults. God, what is it? He says insults and the need to be right. One other thing, but he says this is the problem with a lot of women. You talk like you need to be right, and you insult too. It's like that doesn't make your conversation how your ideals come through adequately.
Love to have a setup where they have a girlfriend that loves and admires them and respects them, obeys them, and he could go ahead and get other women and she's closed on her end. And this is what I was trying to say. Once you reach a certain level of status and you have your stuff together, you'd be amazed at what women will tolerate when you're that guy. So I want every guy to be at a point where if you want to be monogamous to your woman, you can, but if you also want to have other women, you can. And that's what I think keeps you attractive, because women only get
sign
in
language. Yes, sign language.
line when you have other women in line. Now I know that. What was that?
He said you're not welcome on campus, prick.
Oh, look at this guy. Nice jorts. Nice jorts.
Hey, I have another question. Do you know who invented Wi-Fi? Like the technology for Wi-Fi?
Let me guess, a woman?
Well, yeah. So if it wasn't for a woman, your podcast, you wouldn't have one, and it wouldn't have gotten demonetized.
Oh, good one. Yeah, so here's the thing. We do direct connect on our pod, so
I don't care.
Wi-Fi is, oh, now it's I don't care. Okay, great.
Hello, sir.
Make sure to hit the gym as well.
Sir. Hey,
Hey, just being honest, man.
sir.
Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Sir,
hey,
if you're here to
the
have
girls
a
aren't gonna fuck you,
conversation,
man.
I'm trying to have one with you.
Like the girls aren't gonna fuck you, bro. White knighting is not gonna do it.
Calm down.
Okay, hi. Would you like to have an actual conversation?
You come on. You coming on. Seriously. I mean, like, slow down. Calm down. You come on already heated.
Good, awesome. All right, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
All right, here. I'm here to have an actual like debate with you, okay? I'm not
Sure.
here. I'm not here to antagonize you or villainize you. I want to understand you, and I hope maybe you'd want to understand me. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
So what I want to understand is your viewpoint that women deserve less, or that you think men deserve more?
Well, two things can be true, right?
Okay.
So I think guys need to be in a position where they are the dominant and the leader in the relationship.
So I would like to understand why exactly do you think that? Is it what is causing this? Is it like an instinctual thing? Do you think it's based off biology, psychology?
What in
religion,
particular?
belief? Like the idea that the man should be dominant. What is the backing thought process for this?
Well, it's how society has thrived for centuries. You know, the man is the head of the household. He's the leader. He protects and provisions. And this is how we've been able to build up the society we enjoy now. And it's only with modernity and feminism that women have been able to kind of do the things that they do. But at the end of the day, I would argue most women want a traditional man who's going to be a provider, going to be a protector, and adhere to these traditional masculine traits.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about this, sir, if you don't mind. So
Sure.
Would you say that over time, generally speaking, with how society has come, how culture has come, to where we are at this current point, are you content with how the world is today? with society? Are you happy with how society has turned out? What exactly do you have any issues with modern society?
Well, I mean, look, obviously there's pluses and negatives, but I do think that modernity has led to the overall degradation of society. It's because we don't prioritize the family anymore.
So is the issue less that women deserve less, or that we should put more?
Let me say this, right? All around the world, birth rates are going down. Birth rates are going down. Marriages are less and less. It's getting less and less. People are getting married later on in life. So the more if you get married later on in life, the likelihood that you have more than one kid is not that high. So really, the nuclear family unit is not as strong or prevalent as it used to be. And I do agree. The nuclear family is the backbone of society, of all society. So, modern day society, I think it's on a downhill.
More of a focus on traditionalism within the family.
Well, that's kind of the same thing from before. Again, men need to be in a different position now where they need to be able to vet out women properly for them to be their wives. Because the thing that sucks for guys now is that most women want to be married, but they're not necessarily wife material. Everyone wants to get married, but no one wants to be a wife is basically what I mean. So I think, well, you're a lesbian. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I think it is. Guys need to really focus on the family, but before they can even do that, they need to be able to go in with their eyes wide open with how society is and how we're playing the dating game, because we have more to lose.
Okay, so I understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
I think it makes sense that you would like to have, women would be able to be mothers, would ever be able to be wives. If a man is being a provider, clearly you would want something in return, right? I mean, like.
Yeah, to obey me.
Oh, I don't. If you want people to hear you out, I don't really think obey would be the best word to use. I mean, like, obey kind of implies that there's a lack of free will and thought. Would you think?
He's extreme, right? This is a thing where I do like Myron for his bluntness, because it's funny and it triggers women. It triggers women and feminist men. Here's the thing where I 100% agree that not obeying, but if a man has responsibility over his wife, the provision, the protection, right? Just like he has responsibility over his children, okay? Protecting and providing for his children. He has authority. Leadership. You follow his leadership. Now, this is a problem. Don't date a man, don't marry a man that has dictatorship mentality. That's the thing. This is the thing where women don't understand. I believe men are more presidents than they are dictators, okay, in their relationships. Men are more presidents, i.e., they listen to other people's advice. They listen to counsel. They listen to their partner, okay, instead of a dictator where they don't give a shit what a woman says and they do whatever they want. That's the thing where I think more men are president-like than they are dictator-like. But here's the thing. He's going more a bit extreme, saying obey, but again, it's about responsibility. You have authority over things you're responsible for, i.e., like your children, i.e., your wife.
Interesting. So you say there's a lack of free will there, but is there,
I mean, with the term obey, like the connotation that it provides when you say the word obey.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I find it interesting that on my end, I'm protecting and providing, and the one thing I ask in return is for her to obey, but that's a problem. See, that's
I didn't say it was a problem.
Because here's the thing. Here, let's be honest here, right? So this is what I mean when I say modern feminism poisons women. Women want a guy who's going to be a protector and a provider and a good man. But if he asks, hey, I need you to obey me in return, she'll say, I don't like that word. Why do I need to obey you? Well, you need to obey me because I'm the one that's responsible for you. So if I'm responsible for you, that means I'm supposed to have authority over you as well.
Well, if you would like to have a conversation without putting words in my mouth where I said that I had a problem with the term, like, obeying people, I just said that if you want other people to agree with you, maybe find a different term that...
This is the thing where sometimes it's like... I understand. I had a friend who told me that, you know what, it's how you say it rather than what you say. But this is the thing where sometimes it don't matter. It don't even matter if you say things in a more flowery way, because the people that would listen to you would already listen to you. The people that wouldn't, regardless of how great you say it. But this is the thing where also I like the thing where don't manipulate. Because this is a problem where this is why I think women are so easily manipulatable. Okay? How women are so easily manipulatable. And this is what it's controversial thing where why women gravitate to liars. This is why women gravitate to liars, because they like flowery words. This is why the players, the bad boys, the Chads, the Tyrones, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, this is why these men have high body counts. This is why these men don't have an issue. They don't fail when it comes to dating. They're good liars. I've said this before. If you lie, women will buy. This is a thing where certain men, you're gonna say it straight up, like Myron. Because he doesn't care. He doesn't need to lie to you because he's not trying to manipulate you in a sense. He's not trying to, because here's the thing, he's not trying to get into your pants. So for him to say nice words that will make you think that, oh, you know what he says is great and stuff, he doesn't care. He wants you to get the meaning, to get the get the full point of it, and then agree with it or not. Instead of, this is the problem with women. This is why, the past, you have cult leaders, you have, all these like serial killers, all these people who can manipulate their way into people's lives because of how they talk. And this is why the charmers are very big.
Would kind of incline people to agree. Secondly,
Well, that's the problem. People are too soft. That's the truth. We need women to obey us.
says the guy who's here complaining about women.
No, I said women need to obey men. I'm saying the problem is that we have this society where people just don't want to be honest and say what it is.
But I'm being honest and telling you that people don't like the word obey.
Okay. Oh, well.
Okay.
Like,
oh well.
I
People
find
don't
it interesting, right? So a lot of people think I just talk smack to women all the time, but I actually talk more smack. Anyone that watches the show, I actually talk more smack to men. I tell
that's
them not
so
to be
chivalrous
fat,
of you.
not to be losers, not to be dorks. Like, I bully the guys so that they become better. Men kind of accept this. But when we say we want something in return, women don't want to follow it. So it's like women have one job and they don't even want to do that.
Well, have you considered that maybe women don't want your help?
Well, here's the thing. I'm here to help the guys out because they're the leaders. So
Well, that's fine, but
I'm very familiar with the fact that like women, like if they hear a certain word, they get triggered and they can't listen to anything else. But again, that's an inherent flaw in women because they're so emotional. But the reality is, like, as a woman, if you're in a relationship with a guy and he's doing what he's supposed to do, protect and provide for you, you need to obey him.
So wait, okay, you have a problem with women being overly emotional, yet you want them to be providers to children. That implies that there needs to be some type of emotional nurture there. So is the problem that women are too emotional, or that they're not emotional enough?
No, what I'm talking about is in this context where the term obey immediately triggered you.
I'm not triggered.
Okay.
You're not
Do I
triggered.
look angry?
No, well, you didn't like that term. You're like, hey, well, maybe you could use a different word. It's like, no, that's what it is.
It's like, come on. It's like, seriously, you were triggered. Okay, hell, I think you were triggered once you got into the mic. This is the thing this is why I say, are women actually emotionally intelligent? Yeah, women are more emotional, but are they actually emotionally intelligent? Because if you are, you will recognize the emotions you are expressing. You are triggered. You're overly emotional, right? So really, that's the thing where you gotta recognize it.
Obey.
I didn't say that I was bothered by the word. I was just trying to give you some advice that maybe other people would be more inclined to listen if you didn't come off so authoritative.
Well, I think that's important where we're at a crazy point right now where we just got to start being honest and not tone police and worry about certain phrases triggering people. The truth hurts a lot of the times, but this is what we need to do. We've gone so far left that we're going to need a significant overcorrection. And sometimes that means using words that people might find offensive.
Okay, so, all right, I understand what you're saying, that we shouldn't, be so protective, right?
Yeah, and the other thing, too, with
But
men,
you
I've
want to
noticed.
protect women, so you don't want them to be protective.
No, what I'm saying is that with men, right, when I say the term obey, guys just get it. They don't get offended by this is actually a phenomenon I've noticed only with women. Like, when I tell guys stuff and I speak very direct, they don't care. They just consume the information. Okay, that makes sense, and move on. They're not really too concerned with how it's said or the terms that are used. But with women, a lot of the times, if I don't use certain terms or speak in a certain tone, they get offended and can't take in the information. And I think if women were a bit more receptive to the direct nature of the things I say, they'd be a lot better off because I'm very honest about it.
It sounds like men tend to obey you more than women.
Well, I mean, if they listen to what I say, they'll probably do pretty well in life, yeah.
If you want someone to obey you, why don't you just go with guys?
That's a good one.
I'm just a genuine question. Why do you care so much about women if, like, the men are listening to you just as is? You're trying to do a thing for the men, right? Do them a favor, help them out. Women aren't asking you for any help.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I focus on the guys because they're not emotionally
Then why are
triggered.
you here talking about women?
because that is a big obstacle that a lot of guys can't fix. They can't
Then
basically.
why are you trying to fix it?
Because if we don't have women, we don't have the nuclear family, and a lot of guys struggle with this. Now, here's the thing. I understand that you might be in a privileged position where dating and getting men to court you isn't that hard, but for average guys, it's not that easy. So
Well,
a
I
lot
don't
of guys
need
need to
anyone
learn
to
this
court
stuff.
me. I'm not looking for that. There's more to my life than worrying about what the other sex does.
Okay, well, you have that privilege since you're a woman and the men come to you. But
They
men
don't
need to
come
figure
to
this
me.
stuff out.
I came to you to talk to you.
Again.
Did you come to me? I don't think
no,
so.
No, but this is us having a discussion here. What I'm saying is that, like, you're maybe like a 3 or 4. So, like, you're going to have more market pull, right, than a guy that's like a 7 or 8. You're going to have more options than an average guy. So for you, right, you're getting an abundance of options, whereas guys are.
You know, this is the thing where maybe I'm. This is the thing where I can't be I can't be a Myron. I can't to tell a woman to her face she's a 3 or a 4. It is, and it's not like I don't agree. Sometimes it's not like I don't agree, but it's just that I understand how the world works. To do that is so. It is very.
Not going to get that same level. So, and the other thing too with women is women are just simply better at dealing with the opposite gender. Men need to learn this stuff. Guys don't kind of come out understanding female nature. They have to learn this stuff either through someone teaching them or
I
through
don't think I took a
losses.
crash course on how men work.
I'm sorry?
I didn't take.
Because you don't need to. You don't. This is the thing where women have the luxury to not give a shit. Women have the luxury to not give a shit about men, and men still come up to them. Those jugs makers 7. You know what? Yeah. I mean, this is the thing where, see, that's the thing. You got the body, don't matter about the face. You got the face, doesn't necessarily matter about the body. But this is the thing where women don't even need to give a shit about men. Women don't need to give a shit about men, and they still succeed in the dating market. I've said this. This is why I've said this countless times. Dating is easy for women. They could hate on men. They could not know a single thing about men. They could mistreat men, and they still have men as options. She's
A crash course on how men work. Why do men need to take a crash course on women?
Because men, here's the thing, men have to build up the attraction and approach the women. They're the ones that got to make things happen. Women don't. You guys are in a privileged position where the men just come to you.
So you
But,
guys are stupid, basically.
I mean, if that's the conclusion you're going to come to, I
No,
guess.
that was a question. That wasn't a conclusion. It was a question.
No, it's a learned skill that they need to develop to learn how to properly deal with women. So
Why
that
do
they
you
don't
need to
end
learn
up-
how to deal with
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I teach guys to avoid women like you, as a matter of fact.
Thank you. Stay away
yeah,
from me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You should be in a kitchen somewhere, but it's fine. We'll have this discussion. Yeah, the reality is, what was that? Yeah, probably
I've
can't
not
cook
insulted
either.
you once this entire time.
See, this is precisely the problem. Combative, assertive women that, don't want to necessarily obey or know when to, be quiet when I'm making
Who
a
the
point.
fuck are you to tell me to obey you? I'm
Yeah,
not
she's
your
really pissed.
woman. I don't need to obey you. I'm not in a relationship with you. I'm trying to have a
Yo,
conversation
Blue
with you. I don't need to
X's.
obey you.
Well, you're
under
just kind of
any
just
means.
talking over me when I make my point or answer your questions or trying to, instigate some type of reaction, which is cool. I think it's funny. It's interesting. But
Aren't
I think,
you instigating a reaction
yeah.
by being here on a campus with people who are more or less going to have different...
Well, I'm just telling the uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to hear.
So it's okay for you to be instigative and combative whenever you want to share your truth, but when someone wants to give another side of the truth, you want them to be quiet and you think that they aren't obeying.
well, this is the thing where I think when you bring emotions into it, then you're being combative, right? And then you're over talking people, and then this is the thing where women gotta really understand how to communicate. I honestly think that women really don't know how to communicate that well, because they're so overly emotional, it makes it hard for them to communicate.
You.
Yes, because a man's job is to be a leader and be assertive and convey information. Women, you guys will be quiet and make sandwiches. That's the difference.
You can make your own sandwich. If you need to take a crash course on how to talk to other people, you can take a crash course on how to make a fucking sandwich.
Anyway.
If you're such a strong provider,
This is the thing. He can make his own sandwich. You can provide for yourself too. It's like such a stupid argument. Fine. I mean, if you want a relationship, right, where a man is making his own food, doing his own shit, you have that man. You have that option. The problem is, right, if you pick that man that does his own shit, that man is a 50-50 relationship. And if you're fine with that, then that's all good. It's like, seriously, there are men that don't want that shit.
provide.
You sound mad that, do you know how to make a sandwich?
Yeah, I do. Want me to teach you?
No, thank you. That's a woman's job.
Okay.
All right, cool.
So what do you do for a living? Genuine question. What's your job?
We get to the next person.
Why can't you answer? Why can't
I
you
think it's
answer what
pretty
your job
obvious
is?
what I do. I mean,
Well, it's not. I'm a stupid woman, so could you explain to me what you do as a living for your job?
okay, I'll come back to you, Overy. Let's go to her.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right. So I have a couple of things. First off, throughout history, we've noticed that Western society was a lot more less developed whenever women did not have rights compared to now that women do have rights. They are inventing things such as Ada Lovelace and coding and computers. And so how would you think life would be if we never got those rights and those things were never invented?
We'd be a better society, probably.
And
Yeah.
why is that?
Well, we would have more nuclear families. We wouldn't have feminists. We wouldn't have strange progressive women that color their hair. We would just basically be better off as a society.
So you would
Because
be better
the
with
reality-
no income?
I find it
considering-
interesting that like women will name like 1 or 2 inventions that they've made, but almost everything that we enjoy in modernity was made by men. Men are like 90% plus of the inventors. If we had to rely on female ingenuity, we'd probably still be rubbing sticks together.
Okay, so a second one for you. What about majority of education professionals being women? So we are not only cultivating the young minds, but we are also fostering care and kindness.
Well, this is also stupid. Okay, where this is the problem because women have now jumped ship and become predominantly getting the college education. A lot of young men have stepped back. So let's say if it was a reality where women weren't going to college, majority of women aren't going to college. Well, men would step up and be the ones to go to college in mass, larger mass than women. So it's not like, oh, because what now? What if society women didn't go to college? Well, men would be going to college. Men would be the ones doing it. It's just that a lot of young men find that women are going to college, they're doing better. And if the same men go to college, they're not doing as well. They're not doing as well. And even if they're getting the college degree, they're still not coming out to college being women's better. Right? That's the thing. A lot of times women go into programs like nursing predominantly. While young men, yes, if they go into STEM fields, engineering, math, they do great. But a lot of young men, they don't go into that in mass still. So a lot of young men still do, ridiculous degrees, and they're not doing it they're not doing nursing and stuff like that. So still, they're not coming out of college better.
Well, that's precisely why college is a joke now. As someone who graduated from college myself from a good school, the education system and academia in general has just become, a libtard fest where people are operating not on reality and thinking that there's 99 genders and, this woke ideology, and it's kind of like the battlegrounds for that. So the universities have morphed from a place where you can get a higher education, become more intelligent, and get a job into the real world versus, just pushing a political agenda. And this is why women are starting to dominate men in college attendance, because men are kind of catching on that college is a scam in most cases.
Just to clarify, I wasn't speaking specifically of college educators. I meant more of your public school system educators, so your K through 12 and things like that.
Sure. What's your particular question?
Majority of those people that work in those education fields are women, so we are the ones that spend majority of the time with the children, and we are the ones cultivating their minds, making sure they're educated and they're kind people. So how do you think that would be if we didn't have rights to teach?
Well, again, you guys are able to do that because men have stabilized and civilized the world for you to be able to do that.
But that's not, okay. So if we were to obey a man, then theoretically...
Within a relationship.
Within a relationship.
I'm speaking specifically, if you're in a relationship together, it's the woman's job to obey her man.
Why? Why not the other way around? Who says what? You?
Well, because women can't lead anything. The only thing they can lead is to the end of the relationship. It simply doesn't work when women are in the power position in a relationship because women don't respect weak men that lead them, that they're leading.
Okay, no, a woman's not going to respect a weak man, but if they're both equals, then there will be mutual respect between both of them. And
But
that
that's the
is when it
problem.
should
Men and women are
thrive.
not equal.
How? We're the ones that give you life. Why is there no respect for that?
Well, actually, technically, we put our semen into you, and that's what creates life, not you guys. You guys just incubate.
Actually, semen can be performed and created in a lab, so we don't even need you anymore. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Here's the thing. Eggs can be. It's like seriously, we can do a lot of things in a lab where you don't need a physical woman and a physical man. So really, that's fucking stupid, right? That's really stupid. I mean, it's like that's not a good talking point.
Fantastic. Look at that. We could be in a lab.
Hi.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. You might have to move the mic down for her, guys.
No, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's all the way down. Damn. The struggles of being 5 foot, nothing. Anyway, what's your name?
Myron, nice to meet you.
Byron? Okay, cool.
Myron, yeah.
What is, sorry?
Myron.
Myron, gotcha. Thank you.
What's your name?
Ozzy.
Okay. How are you,
Sorry.
Ozzy?
I have no clue who you are. So this
No
is
problem.
very interesting. So I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
I noticed that you keep up bringing up the nuclear family,
Yeah.
right? And like you put that on a pillar and that like you value it highly. That as well as like the patriarchy, and you talk about how this is like a good thing and it, you know, benefits you and I guess women as well. And so on the patriarchy, I specifically wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the like negative implications and just like actual effects of it, both on men and, well, just mostly men?
The patriarchy?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, are you talking from the sense of like, from a modernity sense of today, or are you talking about like before? With
No, literally today.
Literally
So,
today.
Yeah, and well, I guess we could also visit like you talk about how like the nuclear family and when that was at like
She
height
not
was like
lesbian.
everything. Was it?
She looks
before
like
World
it.
War? It was like before and like during like the World Wars, like that kind of 1950s era.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay. So, what's your? I'm just trying to understand your question specifically.
Yeah, so you talk about valuing the nuclear family, and I'm trying to ask you why. So like if you
Why?
could, like,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
very
Yeah. So the
clearly
reason
just
why is
explain
because
that.
children are the future, and in order to raise children properly, you need a mom and a dad, right? You need that balance. So. And that can only really be done in a nuclear family. This is why I'm not a fan of gays adopting or lesbians adopting. I think, you know, the child needs to have a strong father and a mother in the household, you know, for the best chance at being a productive member of society. That's why the nuclear family is so important, because our future is built on that, which are the children.
Okay.
You gotta stop with the bazinga.
And then going to then the patriarchy.
The patriarchy, okay?
Yeah.
What about it?
So you're talking about how like you value it and you find it good that men are then forced to go out and do these things. So you're talking about kind of like the men's rights issues, right?
Yes, I think men, there's a burden of performance on us. And I think that that's something to embrace and rise to versus trying to be equal to women.
Okay, so you believe that men should not have a choice.
As far as in what regard? Working?
Not just working, but just style of life and like, so taking away that choice from men and just generally from people of like their direction in life.
I think every guy should be prioritizing, you know, whether they're building themselves up to eventually have a family, right? I understand that, you know, for men, it takes time for us to acquire our value versus women kind of have the value up front. But I do think that every guy should be striving to become successful so that eventually a family will be dependent upon him.
Okay, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I don't think women should be working. I think they should be prioritizing motherhood, not jobs.
So then so taking our society and the amount of people that it takes to run a fully functioning, well-endowed society, that takes people of all kinds of creed, right?
Sure.
So when you take away that matter of choice from both men and women and everyone in between, why do you then believe that that will be a better society?
Well, the thing is this, right? So you're mentioning this.
But here's the thing, right? This is the problem with some arguments. We have proof. We have proof. We have proof when women valued and prioritized family, and when men were leaders of family, when men had goals, directions, right? Providing, you know, bettering themselves to be able to provide for a family. We have proof of it. We have history of it. That's the thing. Society didn't, you know, break when that was the image of society, right? Where women focused on their family, women weren't part of the work, a big part of the labor force. Okay, we have proof of that, and we had society working well, even in a lot of cases thriving. So there's proof of it.
This thing about choice, and I think that's an illusion, right? And we need to be honest here when it comes to women pursuing education and a career. What we tell them is, hey, look, go get a job, make money, enter the workforce, and then you can have a family at the end of that. And what ends up happening a lot of times is women follow this route, get an education, get money, get a job, get a good career, and then when they try to find a guy at the end of that, it becomes significantly harder. Because what's ended up happening is the woman has risen up in status, risen up in her income, and her standards are higher, so a lot of guys aren't going to qualify. And I think if we were honest with women and told them, look, if you pursue a career, there's a very good chance that you might not get your first choice. I think that's a good starting point. Obviously, we can't just like say, take all the jobs and that's it. But I think we need to start being more honest with women and letting them understand that you got to pick one. You can't really have it all. And this is something that we've been lying to women about for decades, that they can have it all. And then they end up at 31 years old, unmarried, no kids, wondering why guys don't take them seriously. But it's because they didn't know the truth about this stuff.
So then how do you feel about the same thing, but then happening towards men? Like,
In what regard?
Take you, for example. You say that you have, I think you mentioned you have an open relationship, but specifically on your end.
Only on my end, yeah.
So you take the nuclear family, which is a loyal and faithful husband.
Only women could be sluts. We are the slut makers. This girl's over here trying to call me a slut. Hey, we're the slut makers, man. There's no such thing as a man that's a slut.
May I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So you're talking about how you have an open relationship. So you have the nuclear family.
Yep.
The stereotypical nuclear family is a loyal working husband who goes
Sure.
to the office or whatever, makes money, comes home to his wife, provides for his wife, takes care of his wife.
Now, I want to say this, okay? What one man's life doesn't mean all men's life. Now, yes, he may do a relationship that's not the typical man, but here's the thing, where he's not necessarily advocating for all men to live his life, because here's the thing, all men can't. Now, two things can be true at once. Myron have said where if you become a high value man, a man that makes 6 figures, 7 figures, you are top tier athletic, you're top tier height, whatever. You reach a certain status. Well, you may benefit from that status. Most men can't reach that status. So for him to advocate nuclear family, that is best for the middle class family. How Myron is, he's not the middle class type of man. He makes well over 7 figures. He makes well over 7 figures. He is over 6 foot. He's in shape. Looks wise, whatever. I wouldn't call him the typical good looking man, but each their own. But that's the thing where money wise, height wise, athleticism, he fits top tier men. Most men can't even reach his financial status. So this is the thing where we don't realize. Rich men, CEOs have mistresses, we don't, seriously, it's not new, okay? We've seen it. The rich men have had, the multiple women and all this shit, so what he says about his life comparative to average men life, it's drastically different.
You value highly the nuclear family, but you yourself are not taking a part of it. Why is that?
Well, I have a certain goal that I want to hit financially before I, go ahead and have a family. I have some business aspirations, and I want to make sure I get that out of the way so that when it is time to be a father, I can focus 100% on that and not necessarily be as tied up with work. So and that's kind of one of the, the good things about being a man is that though we are not born with value, if we work hard enough, we can create value, and that gives us a bit more time on the time clock. Versus for women, they have a fairly finite amount of time to be able to build a family. So for me, I'm focused on hitting a certain financial goal first so that when I do have my children, money never becomes a problem again.
But you talk about how women are born with an inherent value.
Yes.
I would differ that men are as well. And what you are doing, so the nuclear family, part of men's value comes from being loyal and being hardworking. And I feel like when you miss half of that, like what you're doing, you are then degrading, thank you, whoever said that, the nuclear family and the idea of this, because you take this very almost shallow and kind of hollow, because every person has issues and the nuclear family is by no means perfect, and you are then kind of showing the issues with it by your own actions and by your own kind of disregard for.
Well, my thing is, I think, again, I teach guys, hey, look, this is what you need to do, right? This is how you become attractive, get your life together. Now, when I arm guys with these tools, what they choose to do it is up to them. If they want to go ahead and have a family immediately, that's fine. If they want to go ahead and play the field, that's fine. But my thing is I want men to be in a position. The problem is that a lot of guys are in a relationship where their woman controls everything. She's making the decisions, she's bossing him around. There's no leadership there. I want the guy to be in a position where he can kind of dictate the terms. And if he decides, look, I want a family and I want to have a family early, I want him to do that through choice, not through necessity. A lot of guys are monogamous or in a relationship through necessity, not because they want to be. So I just want guys to be able to have that choice. That's the big thing. And then eventually, obviously, work towards a family. But I think the other thing, too, that's important is that men have to understand how modern women work.
Thank you. My last question here is,
Sure.
what's your goal with coming out to this college campus where you have all of these people who very obviously are heckling you and do not want you to be here? What's your goal? Because obviously you're not really going to change people's minds with some of the more hateful messages that you're portraying. Like, why are you?
The goal right here, this is a thing where we live in a society where social media is a thing. Here's the thing where we see, this is the mindset of young people. This thing, right, reaches hundreds of thousands of people. That's the goal, to show you what the mindset of some young people are, that if Myron can debate or have decent conversations, he can affect other people's mindset as well. So that is the goal.
Here.
To start a revolution, to tell people the truth, something that's been missing for a very long time. Hey, you know white knighting the girls isn't going to get you laid, right? Doesn't work. Okay, yeah.
I'll be quick here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank the whole crowd for uniting against this man. I am proud of our campus. I am proud of us. I was scared seeing these posters, genuinely, because I didn't know who would show up to this event. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys are great. Thank you to all our question people. And I'm not going to thank you. I think you are a weird person.
Good one. You know, I think it's interesting that you say that, because I think, see, the reality is, there's a silent majority that agrees with me. This is why Trump won. Because guys know, right? This is why Trump won. Because the good thing about liberals, right? This is what's good about liberals. Liberals, right, tend to be louder. Right? You guys tend to hit the streets. You guys tend to protest. You guys tend to be loud, which is great. Something I actually applaud you guys for. But nowadays, I think people are waking up slowly but surely, and I think the landslide victory that Trump had proves that a lot more guys are starting to look towards the conservatism and the right wing versus radical left wing beliefs, because, you know, it just doesn't serve us to be liberal, and we can see that there. But yeah.
Bring it up just a little bit. Can I bring this up just?
There's a loud minority. What's up, man?
Hey, can I bring this up a little bit? Is that okay? Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you remember me at all?
No.
Okay. So can I ask a quick synopsis of what you think the prescription is for society today for men? In a short version, what do you think they should do to be successful with women?
To be successful with women,
Yeah.
okay, are we talking about like getting a girl for a long-term relationship, just to get laid? What are we talking about?
Well, I think the only reason should be for a long-term relationship and marriage. I mean, that's Jesus Christ founded it. But I'm just curious what your prescription is.
Well, I've talked about this. I think guys have to have certain things in place, right, before they want to get into a long-term relationship. It's 5 things. So I would say 100K per year, 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in good shape, have at least 50 partners, right, sexual body count.
All right, and then is that the last one?
And then there's one more, but that's fine. You could go ahead and
Okay.
engage with what I've said so far.
So the reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
Here's the thing where I really want young. This is the problem. This is the problem with a lot of social media. Okay, a lot of content, and this is why I've always liked to say the things I'm saying. Listen and process. Right? Listen and process. Don't just obey. That's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of people. You are sheeps. That's the problem. So many people, you are sheep. You don't take what he says, process it. Apply it when it makes sense to your own life. Here's the thing where this young man, I don't know what he's going to say. We'll listen to it. But here's the thing. He said he's going to he listens to the things that Myron says and led him astray. Do you say you're 6 figures? Maybe you kind of in shape. Do you say that you, it's like, this is the thing where the problem a lot of times is we take things and blindly listen, where we don't take things and understand it. Let's say this, right? He says have a body count of 50. I don't necessarily agree with that, but the point is that be understanding, understand women. Not, it's just like, it's a blanket statement where if you don't process it, you ain't gonna learn. Saying that you need a body count of 50 is, I get it, I don't agree with it, but the actual, if you process that information, it means understand women, right? That's the thing. Having a body count of 50 is not necessarily just having sex. No, it's understanding women. And the more you deal with women, the more you understand them. That's the point, right? And that's why I said, don't just blindly listen, but process what you're listening.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did, and it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt...
Congratulations, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable. And they should be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat them? So I think...
So a question for you. You said you got out there dating and meeting women and stuff like that. And then you said that it kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you specifically? Did you like just start? What happened specifically?
Well, I started warring against my own flesh. It's like trying to fill an empty void.
Mm-hmm.
There's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man that can only be filled by God alone. Anything else you try to fill with that's not going to satisfy it.
Sure.
And I tried to do it with sex.
Yeah. So, would it be fair? How'd you meet your wife?
We actually had the #1 dating podcast in North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast.
Okay.
And I'm also friends with Fresh. I know him very well. I texted him before I came here.
Yeah.
And I know pretty much everyone on your crew. But I was a heavy follower, and you actually inspired me to start the podcast, and I realized what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that when you went through that experience, you were able to identify characteristics that you probably found as unredeemable and you probably wouldn't want to commit to, right?
In what way?
Well, when you were seeing these women, right, you probably started seeing patterns in how they behave, how they speak, or whatever. Maybe they're not qualified to be a wife. Because the thing is, right?
Well, I don't need that. I have the Bible for that. It tells me what to look for.
Yeah, but the thing is that you were able, and again, you're probably not going to notice it, but when you dated and dealt with all these women, you probably were able to identify characteristics that you were not fond of, or characteristics that would make a woman not a good candidate for a long-term relationship. And I think half the game is figuring out which girls don't qualify for marriage versus which ones that do. And clearly you learned a skill set on how to become attractive and get women, and then you're able to identify the things that you like versus the things that you don't like, and that only comes a lot of times with experience. Now look, if a guy can go ahead and, find a woman as a virgin and be attractive and be able to understand how to navigate that, that's great in modern times. But the reality is a lot of guys don't. And I mean, even in your success story, you had to go through a lot of bad women to be able to identify your current wife as the one. So failures are good. They're good.
Yeah, failures, failures in the sense of socioeconomic or maybe even relationship failures could be good, but there's a difference with what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're warned against our soul. Jesus Christ commands us to marry one woman. That's it.
Sure.
And what you were causing me to do was sin against myself, and that's the point I'm trying to get to. It's immoral.
Yeah, I mean, you got
wrong.
to take personal responsibility, bro, because here's the reality.
No, I do, 100%.
Yeah, so
very publicly, I have in front of over
why
40,000 people. I've done that.
Yeah, great. But the point I'm trying to make is I teach guys a skill set, right? If I give you a gun and you shoot yourself in the foot, is that my fault? If I taught you how to properly use it, how to disarm it, disassemble it, how to load the magazine in properly, all that. If I give you the skill set, then you shoot yourself in the foot, right? Is that really my fault? No, I just arm you with the skill set. Then you choose what you want to do with it. Now, obviously, you wanted to go toward a sex escapade, which is, I guess, fine. But the reality is I armed you with the tools to become an attractive guy, and you utilize that. You can't come back and get mad
No,
and
you
say,
didn't arm me with that. I became attractive when I followed Jesus. That was it.
Oh, okay. Now it's changing the story.
No, I'm not changing any story. It's one thing to be attractive in the sense of gaining sexual partners, but it's a completely different thing to be attractive to someone that wants to marry you and spend their life with you and have kids with you. Those are two completely different sexual attractions. If I walk in here looking like Thor, I'm 6'2" and shredded, obviously I'm going to be attractive to women, but it doesn't mean that that's a relationship that produces value for me and my family.
And again, everyone is different, right? For you, it took some time, and you found God, and you shifted. But the reality is I gave you the skill set, and then you choose what you want to do. That's up to you, and you made that decision, not me. I just taught you what to do,
exactly.
how to do it.
It's on me 100%. I'm not placing blame on you, but what I'm telling you, from someone that listens to you, I'm trying to let you know what happens when you speak to people and tell them to do these things.
Here's the other thing, too. Like, now you're operating with 20/20 hindsight. You went through it. You experienced
Correct.
it. You
That's
know.
true.
A lot of guys need to get their hand burned sometimes to figure out how things work, because let's be honest, men are very stubborn.
Why do they need to do that? If they find a God-fearing woman, they wouldn't do half the stuff you're talking about.
Well, they got to...
The fuck is like, seriously, wake up, okay? 100% of society isn't gonna be religious. Shut the fuck up. I really hate that shit, right? I really, really hate that shit. You can't say, oh, find God after you lived your life. Fuck that shit. Then you should. It's like this is a thing where at 12 in my early life, I've heard about God. I chose not to do it. It's like, this is a thing where you are a fucking adult, right? You wanted to listen to God? You should have done that before. This is a thing where not every fucking man is going to be a Bible thumper. Here's the thing. Christianity, God, all that shit, that was there then, okay? Why do you think a lot of men have left the church? Because of Bible thumpers like that. Thinking that, okay, listen to God, things will go right? Things will go right. Again, it's that blind faith, that blind listening. It's like, this is the thing where he goes from one addiction to another. That's the problem. Great that he has a family, cool. But seriously, wake up. You're an adult. You chose your life. You made your actions. That's accountability, okay? This is why I said, you process what people listen to. You can listen. It's like, again, we choose. We click on videos and listen to it. He could have listened to a sermon. He could have listened to another Bible thumper. You chose it. This is a thing where what one person's advice is not right for 100% of people. So this is the problem with, and maybe it's his case. Where's your father? This is a thing where we have a problem with a lot of young men, where we take any person who's giving us advice, we make them our world. We make them as a father figure, which is dangerous. It can be dangerous, where you have to be really cautious, because when you blindly listen to people, you don't know how to process their information correctly, and you may use that information very, very poorly. This is a man that cannot say, oh, after he's lived his life, you should have done this and that. Because here's the problem. Let's say, hypothetically, he's 30. There's no guarantee that if he listened to Jesus when he was, let's say, 20, he would have gotten the life that he's gotten now. That's the thing. There's no guarantee that he would have met the wife that he met now. That is stupid. To think that, oh, you know what? Oh, I shouldn't listen to this man. I should have, back when I was younger, listened to Jesus instead. I would have the wife that I have now. That doesn't fucking make sense. Because the life you lived led you to the path you have now. That's the thing. So you can't say that now with hindsight, where you think, oh, if I listened to him, if I listened to Jesus when I was younger, things would change. This is it's stupid, because a lot of young men have done that. And there's no guarantee that he has found a wife. Young men have found wives. So it's like, again, this is why I don't like Bible thumpers, because they blindly just want to spew anything religious. It's just too much.
Finding a God-fearing woman in today's day and age is a lot harder said than done, right? So
I did it.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
And so did everyone in my whole family. So it's not that hard.
Yeah, that's
is your whole family hundreds of thousands of people?
Again, that's anecdotal from your perspective. But again, you learned a skill set. You were able to find a wife, and I'm happy about that. But you got to take a little bit of accountability here and understand that you basically got a loaded gun and shot yourself in the foot. And you're trying to blame me for it.
No, I'm not blaming you. Like I said, I take accountability. There's a big difference there.
Okay.
But look, nothing against you. Like I said, I've hung out with Fresh 8 or 9 times recently. I love them, and I think your heart is in the right place. But I just wanted to give you from someone that actually listened to what you were saying to do, read your book, and it didn't work. That's all I was trying to do for you.
Well, actually, it did. You didn't notice it yet.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to identify your wife and have been able to find her and figure out what characteristics you like and don't like, right? Unless you went through that.
My wisdom came from the Bible, not you. But I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it looks like they're trying to shut us down, guys. Oh, man. Keep going. Okay. All right, who's up next? How'd you? Rare nowadays. Right, we got white knights on the left-hand side trying to heckle. We got angry feminists. We got lesbians, trannies coming up. It's awesome, man. Yeah. They had a drag show here? Oh, wow. Oh, man. Yeah, when they have the drag show, no one cares, right? Then shut that one down. But having a real talk on, societal problems, they're trying to shut it down. So. What's going on, guys? You want to? All right. Yeah? Okay. All right. Who's up next? I guess the show goes on. The show goes on, baby. Wolf of Wall Street. Not fucking leaving!
All right, so I'm just wondering, like, you were talking about that you had sex with 50 women before you got married. Like,
No, I'm not married.
Oh, okay. Before you want to get married, like, how do you plan on doing that? Do you like get blackout drunk at the bars and go for the twos, or like, what's your strat there?
To get laid?
Yeah.
Oh, to reach the 50?
Yeah, you just get like blackout drunk and go for
No, I don't
anything?
drink.
Okay.
I don't drink.
Well then, like,
I don't drink. Don't smoke weed.
Then,
And
like, how are you
I think
getting
all
there?
guys should like totally drop using drugs, or I don't think guys should be smoking weed or drinking alcohol at all. I think it's very poisonous. So
no, yeah, that's fair. It's just like, I don't think you're getting that number, to be honest.
for me or
Yeah.
me personally,
Yeah, you aren't.
sure, I don't have
Yeah.
that number. Sure.
All right, have a good day.
All right.
It's like
not as serious as question as some people have, but
Okay.
it's like that's the problem with like this is the thing where it's like seriously, you didn't come up and debate anything. You didn't debate his point. Why did you not come up and debate his whole argument of 50 women? Debate it then. No, you come up and try to insult. Like you're a fucking woman. Like you are emotional. Like you are emotionally triggered. This is the fucking problem with a lot of young men. It's like then you wonder why a lot of young men are having problems in life. It's ridiculous.
do you play basketball at all?
I did back in the day.
All right, so back in the day, like we put you in a WNBA game. How many points you dropping?
Playing against WNBA players?
Yes, because you said earlier, like an hour ago, that women you could do better than anything, and someone
No.
said WNBA.
Yeah, I said the WNBA is not profitable and the NBA subsidizes it, and women's sports, no one really cares.
Wait, but you still said you could do something better than them. But
No,
so like,
I said that young men. I said that this is why young men, like a high school team, can be professionals. Like high school boys have been professional athletes that are women.
Agreed. Yeah, it's been proven.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying.
agree with that.
And you know, it's interesting because a lot of these people that are saying this stuff, have you been to a WNBA game before? Exactly.
I never will, probably.
Exactly. And a lot of the people that are saying, oh yeah, women's sports, they would never attend the WNBA.
I agree, yeah.
It's just virtue signaling, right? Like I actually am being honest here and saying that female sports are pretty pointless and no one watches it because it's not interesting.
Well, that's only because of Caitlin Clark, but that's only because of one person.
Bro's talking about one game when the league is always negative and needs to get subsidized. Like, okay, cool. So, yeah. See, I'm just saying what everyone thinks. I mean, I don't think any of you guys here on the left go to WNBA games. None of you do. But again, I'm just being honest about it. Female sports suck.
So do you like answer? I just want to hear like, can you drop 20 points in a WNBA game?
I don't know, man. I haven't played in years, dude. So I don't know. I'm getting old. So.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. So I understand that this is all just rage bait and this is how you make money, and that's kind of embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just have to ask, what do you think of your mom?
What do I think of my mom?
Your mom.
It's actually my mom that instilled a lot of these ideas in me. She's the one that warned me.
Really?
Yeah.
So she's anti-woman too.
No, she's anti-whore.
Anti-whore.
Yeah. No, I'm the whore maker.
It sounds kind of like
Men
you're-
can't be whores, ladies. Men can't be whores. Men can't be whores.
Can I
Only
have-
women can be whores.
Can you give me a definition that backs that up?
I'm sorry?
A definition of some kind that backs that up?
Backs what up? That men are not whores?
That men cannot be whores because anyone can be a whore. Anybody can sleep around, and men do it way more than women do.
Yeah, well, actually, so here's the thing. Whore, if I can, okay. Can you guys all hear me still? Okay. Whore is a pejorative term. So typically, well, let me ask you a question. What's your body count?
My body count? Yeah. I'd rather not share that on the internet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, here's the thing. I knew you were going to say that. But hold on. There's a reason why you don't want to disclose that.
Yes, because I have free will and I can say what I want. Thank you.
No, sure. But let's actually peel the layer back, right? Okay. The reason why you don't want to disclose it, as well as women in general don't want to disclose that, because women understand that their sexuality defines their value in the dating marketplace. So even though women sit there, look at this, she's literally losing her mind. Even though
I've
She's
I've
a whore.
talked to men before
But
that.
let me just finish my point, right? So women instinctually know that their body count directly affects, and their past promiscuity directly affects their ability to find a suitor in the future, right? So when people use a term like whore, which is a pejorative term, that's attributed to women because you guys care about your body count because that limits your ability to find a man. But for us, the more partners we have, typically the more value we have. Because as a man, for you to be able to get a lot of sex, you have to bring something to the table, right? Men that have sex with a lot of women
I think
typically have some kind of money, some
Can I
status,
speak?
they're charming, they have something.
Can I speak?
Well, I'm finishing my point to answer your question. So men have to bring something to the table to be promiscuous. Women don't. So that's why it's not respected.
I think every woman here would agree that we don't want men bringing their sexual experience and sluttiness to the table. We want men.
Here's the thing, right? Yes, if a man comes up to you, right, say in your face, I've had sex with 2,000 women. Any woman would be disgusted. I agree. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. If a man that, let's say an athlete, he doesn't need to tell you how many bodies he has. A lot of women would go for him. A lot of women will go for an athlete. But let's be honest. Athletes are not virgins. Athletes are not the epitome of a low body count type of men. Let's not joke around with that. Let's not be foolish about that shit. No duh. If an athlete told you that he had sex with 1,000 women, would anyone be surprised? Would anyone be surprised? This is the thing where it's true. If a man can sleep with a lot of women, he has to bring some kind of value. There's got to be some reason why he can sleep with a lot of women, because no man can just be born, right? Just be born and he can sleep with a lot of women. No, he has to be either good looking, charming, wealthy, right? He has to either have one of those traits or all of them. I'm sorry. The reality is that even the ugly women, she can rack up 1,000 bodies with very little effort. Even being ugly. That's the difference. It is not hard. It is not hard. It is not difficult for women to rack up 1,000 bodies. For men, no average man is racking up 1,000 bodies. So it is a difference. Yes, no one is going to a woman's face and saying, no athlete is stupid enough to go to a woman's face and say, oh, I just fucked a woman last night. Or I just ran a train on a woman. I just had sex with 100 women this today alone. No man is going to do that, but let's not be foolish. You can tell that, let's say, alone, men with money. You'd be surprised if a man has 7 figures. He has a high body count. Could you be surprised? Not really. Exactly. Only in an anime can the loser geek have a harem. Only in an anime, okay? Only in fiction can the loser geek have a harem. A bunch of women wanting him. Only in fiction.
Bringing their kindness, their godliness, their honesty, their communication skills, their education. And by the way, did you know that over half of this campus is women?
Yeah, I know. Women dominate college attendance, which is one of the problems. But regardless, so, and this is why college is a scam in most cases. But yeah, the reality is the things you just mentioned, this is what I mean, right? So I'm going to translate that womanese for you guys. So she said, we want guys that are knowledgeable and nice or whatever. This is, again, this is women speaking from a perspective that the guy's already attractive. But the reality is nice guys don't, there's a reason why nice guys finish last as a phrase. Women say these things, but you're not actually aroused by it. You want the bad boy. You want the guys that are attractive, the guys that can tell you to shut up, make a sandwich, right?
I think you're stuck in 1950 and you need to wake up and realize you're in 2025.
No, that's precisely my point is we're 2025 and women have changed.
For the better.
For the worse, actually, but that's fine.
Okay.
But
did you know that a woman invented Wi-Fi? You couldn't even upload your rage bait videos without her.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Fantastic.
Yep.
If we had to rely on your guys' ingenuity, okay, we'd be rubbing sticks on Wi-Fi. Fantastic.
Rubbing sticks on Wi-Fi.
If we had to rely on female ingenuity, we'd still be rubbing sticks together for fires with some Wi-Fi.
I think you should take up comedy. You're really funny. You're really, really funny.
I do it part-time.
Part-time? Seems
Part-time.
like it's full-time.
Okay. I will definitely pursue it.
Okay.
Stand-up show coming soon. But yeah, men can't be whores because it is difficult for a man to be a whore, and whore is a pejorative term that is only attributed to women because it's easy for you guys to get sex, not easy for us. Men have to bring something to the table to get sexual access. Women don't.
Because women are picky and women aren't easy and we don't go for anything with a hole. Thank you.
Proves my point. Proves my point. All right, who's up next?
You don't want to talk to me anymore? You don't
Well,
like talking to me?
I just want to give everybody a chance, right? So
Okay,
I know
thank
you
you.
love talking to me, but we got to move to the next
I
person.
do. Have a great day. Thank you.
Sure. And I encourage any of the hecklers here on the left, you guys can go ahead and get in line as well and have a discussion. Because just screaming isn't really going to do anything. Get in the line and back up your worldview. Go ahead. But you're here. So this guy said, we don't want to hear you talk, but he's here. That doesn't make sense. Go ahead.
Do you mind if I ask you a little bit of a deviation from the topic?
All right. If it's not too far off, but go ahead.
I think there's some way that these ideas can be linked. So you famously said that Hitler did things that were morally incorrect. He definitely did a bunch of things that were correct for his country. Can you just like explain what things Hitler did for Nazi Germany that were quote unquote good?
Sure. Now that's way off the topic.
Well, I mean, you
but
can
what
talk
we
about women
is-
in the Nazi movement if you want to.
Well, here's the thing. We're here to talk about why women deserve less, but we could. How about this? Let me answer a couple of these questions that are on topic, and then I could definitely do that one.
Why don't you
Because
address
I
it
will
now?
take the conversation somewhere else.
Okay, then I can ask a question that's on topic.
Sure.
Do
And then
you-
I'd be happy to engage with you on that because we have limited time. That's why.
Sure, okay.
If we're able to stay here till 5 like they originally told us, I'd be totally down to answer that.
So, do you believe in free market capitalism?
The thing is I'm an American nationalist, and once it starts to impede Americans' ability to get jobs, and we're bringing in H-1B visas or foreigners for work that an American can do, I'm opposed to that. I think we need to focus on America first, America only, and that's what we should be doing. Not necessarily turning the country into like just we want to focus on the economy. I think we have a national pride that we need to adhere to.
Okay, I don't understand why you entertained that question, but not the one that came before on what
Well, I'm
Nazi
assuming
Germany
that's
did
a
that was
lead up
positive.
to something with feminism. I'm assuming.
I mean, it's possible, but you kind of preempted what I was going to say, so I'm going to give the mic to someone else.
Okay.
But
Well,
I
stick
would-
around. I'd be happy to discuss that part.
I mean, I got things to do. Could you just like address it right now?
Well, here's the thing. We got a lot of people here, and it's a very. I'd have to go into detail and stuff like that. So, but yeah.
Okay. I mean.
Sure. I mean.
That doesn't.
Not all women are the same.
Well, the reality is most women don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who isn't competent, leadership traits, attractive, tall, good shape, etc. Women want a guy.
That's
that
what
has
you
the stuff
want in a
together.
man.
I'm
Why
sorry?
do you keep it? Why do you keep describing what women want in a man? Like you're just.
Because it's a fact.
It's not a
biological
fact. You're describing what you want in men.
Okay, good one. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been shown throughout time that that women have a pretty narrow attraction trigger base of what they like in men.
And you have a narrow attraction trigger base too. You just want women with 0 body counts and all that.
Okay, that's not what I said. I think you're misrepresenting my position, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you like men.
Okay.
Oh,
Good
God.
one.
Seriously.
Ad hominems, man. Like at least like.
Seriously, just like I can't understand. I can't understand women in these kind of scenarios, right? It is. This is the problem. How can you have productive conversation, if you can't resort to insulting people? Where this is the thing where I've said this before. Change my mind. This is the thing where I believe a lot of people's mindset aren't rock solid. It's not like set in stone. Change it. Change my mind. Say something logical, and maybe I see the logic in it. Maybe I'll see the logic in it, and I'll agree with a woman. This is the problem where I'm seeing it more and more, and this is not a good thing for women. You don't fucking make sense, and all you do is insult. That's it. All you, I can't. This is the thing where I think it's stupid too, because in real life, I've talked to logical women, right? I've talked to women that actually make good logical sense. But why is it that these women that go that you see is like, where's the logic? All you do is just say a whole lot of crap and insult people. You don't debate shit. You don't have a conversation. You just have an insult fest.
Practice it before.
I haven't been here the whole time, so I apologize
Sure.
if this question's been asked before.
Sure.
When you say women deserve less, is that from you or the majority of men, from the world?
I think men need to stop simping on women. I think it's a problem. So when I say women deserve less, what I mean by that is guys need to kind of go into a relationship and make women earn their validation and resources and everything else that comes with being in a relationship.
So I'm confused how women needing to show their worth equals them deserving less.
Well, the thing is that a lot of women are very entitled and they think, oh, I'm just here. You know, I want you to do X, Y, Z. And I need guys to basically understand their value and make women earn that validation, because the problem is, thanks to social media and dating apps and everything else, women have an abundance of options. And if you're just another sucker that's going to be a nice guy and spend your time, resource, energy on her, you're not going to differentiate yourself. So guys need to kind of go into relationships with a little bit more self-respect and give them less, especially up front.
Okay, so the statement women deserves less is to encourage men.
It's too fucking rage bait. I mean, come on, just like, don't fall for the bait. That's the thing. And sometimes I find it weird, right? With the younger generation. Do you not fucking understand social media? It's clickbait. It's rage bait. And you fall for it easily, right? It's okay that, you know what? Okay, you clicked, right? You clicked. Understand it and then talk about it. Not still stuck on the rage, right? You're still stuck on the clickbait. That's the problem where, do you not understand how social media works? That's how it is. A catchy title. You go into the video, right? That's it. You listen to you see the title, it catches your eye, you go into the video. Now you're watching the video. It's like, why are you still stuck on the title? Why are you still stuck on the title? When you're in the video, how about watch it, understand it, process it? No, you're still stuck on the fucking title. Like, that's to show you how emotional you are.
Men to make women believe they also deserve less.
Well, I think it's pretty much instilling a relationship dynamic where the woman needs to work to get his validation. She's just not going to get it for just existing and having a vagina.
So they still deserve good things, but only if they are good themselves.
They got to earn it. Yep.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to. I'm all for men treating women nice and, you know, obviously paying for dates, taking them out, committing to them. I'm all for that, but I think that most women simply don't qualify for that because a lot of women have bad habits. A lot of them are rude, obnoxious, masculine. These are things that guys should be looking out for to avoid.
So what qualities?
Like these women over here, for example.
So what qualities?
Like that's not ladylike behavior to like just yell and heckle on the left-hand side.
So what qualities in a woman would make her deserve what you would consider?
Well, I think that's dependent
man?
upon the man. I think, you know, depending on where the guy is and what he's looking for, I think a woman's job is kind of to adhere to his program and get on what he needs done. Because every guy is different, right? On what preferences they have, maybe with the way that she looks versus what she provides to him. But I think that's based on the guy, and it's the woman's job to figure that out.
But do you believe that you should choose your partner as they come, not to change them?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe that you should choose your partner as they come, not to change them?
No, actually, I think you do need to change them to a degree. I think a part of, and the reason why is because, so we live in this guy.
Here's my personal thing, okay? Where I disagree. You don't change nobody. This is the point. This is my point where if you have self-respect, you don't deal with anyone you need to change. You leave. There are millions upon millions of people in this world of the opposite gender. Don't pick someone you need to change. Don't pick a stout feminist that you need to change her into a traditional woman. That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry, I don't agree. Don't change anybody. See them as they are. Recognize it. If you deem it as a red flag, if you deem it that you need to change that person, leave. I swear, because this is a problem where if you are changing somebody, and it's not natural change, it's not a natural change. Like I said, a feminist to a traditionalist, and you were the one who changed her, God forbid, now you're in a relationship, now you're married 10, 20 years, and she snaps like, oh, my feminist mindset is back. Guess what? You just wasted 20 years with this fake-ass traditional woman, and now you're getting divorced because now she's straight feminist now. You tried to change her, right? It didn't last, and now she's going back to who she probably is. Don't do that. This is the thing where I've said this. This is a big world. This is one of the things why I do support Passport Bros. Explore it. If you find a woman here and you need to change her, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Stop sticking to your bubble, okay? Your bubble of a world. Us humans don't realize how big the world is.
Centric society that's wired women to think a certain way that doesn't adhere to a good relationship dynamic, right? They're taught, pursue a career, have sex with as many men as you want, be sexually liberated, behave like a man, be masculine, be obnoxious, challenge him. These are things that men are not attracted to, but most men are not honest with what they actually are attracted to because they get a lot of hate, as you guys can see right now, right? I'm saying these things that a lot of men think, but, this is quite a bit of heckling here. So there's a reason why men don't speak up about this, because if they speak up about it, they're going to be labeled a misogynist, a sexist, an asshole. And a lot of guys think the way that I do, but they never actually express it out verbally. So
I feel like a better strategy for supporting men to have better standards would be to ask, like, I don't know, not say women deserve less, but give them qualities to look out for.
But you're going to inevitably have to give them less to find those qualities, is my point.
I thought you said,
in the vetting phase. In the vetting phase, when you're first seeing her, you're going to have to give her less to be able to,
say the woman shows up with all these qualities. Say she shows up with feminism and quietness and a pursuit of societally feminine qualities. Like, if she already comes with all these great qualities, does that mean
so you mean
she
she's not a
wouldn't deserve
feminist?
less?
So you mean she's not a feminist?
She can be a feminist, but also just adhere to more societally feminine roles.
Well, the problem with that is that if she's a feminist, that inherently means that she thinks she's equal to the man, and that's problematic.
I would say that's not quite the definite. Well, honestly, feminism.
Well, let me ask you this:
pretty equal.
Would it be fair to say that women want a man that's taller than them?
Societally, like, masculine standards?
Like
I would
taller-
say if they're societally feminine.
No. Yeah. Okay.
So
would it be fair to say that women want a guy that makes more money than they do? In
if they're
general.
societally traditional.
In general, yeah. Would it be fair to say that a woman wants a guy that's stronger than her, that could protect her?
If she's also traditional in beliefs.
Okay. So the reality is that women are looking for a superior. They're not looking for an inferior. And even the women that are the staunchest of feminists still want a man that's going to make more money than them, still be more competent than them. As a matter of fact, the more of a feminist she is and the more money she makes and the more status she has, the higher her demands actually go. So, women will sit there and say, oh, I want an equal partner. But when you look at her partner, a lot of times he's actually superior to her.
So you're saying in order for a woman to deserve something, she must just have these traditional qualities and the man must also have these traditional qualities?
Well, here's the thing. Every man is different and looks for certain things. I think the thing is that he's got to kind of come in and understand this is how a lot of modern women are. If she has certain bad habits, you're going to have to deprogram that out and just go from there. Or some girls might not even be worth it. She has to obviously have potential, but if she doesn't have potential, then don't waste your time.
So a man, even if he's not these traditional masculine qualities, should still pursue a woman with all these traditional feminine qualities in order to fulfill his ego?
No, I think men need to rise to the occasion. If you want a submissive, traditional female, you need to be the dominant, assertive male, and you adhere to your duties. I'm very big on the men. You can't demand a feminine woman while being a feminine man. It doesn't make sense.
So should I say men deserve less in order to encourage women to find men with less qualities in order to find a partner they're hoping to change?
Well, no. It's the reason why the women deserve less is because we have a simp problem. We have guys that are over here giving women a lot of attention and resources simply for the fact that they have a vagina. That's the problem. It's on the male side. With women, you guys kind of already have your pick of the litter, so I have to teach men this stuff, not necessarily women.
I see. So women are good at having good standards and men are not, and that's why we say women deserves less?
Well, typically men take whatever they can get. Women wait out for the best option that they can get. Men take, women want the best they can get. Men can take whatever they can get. So I'm trying to get guys to understand their value and only wife out women that are worthy, because a lot aren't.
So in order for a man to find a woman that's worthy, we have to convince all the women that they're not worthy.
No, the girl that he's dating, she needs to.
Again, this book is not necessarily geared towards women. If women buy it, great. But his book isn't geared towards women. It's geared towards men buying it. So to say that, women, it's like you're taking your own feelings into regards. This is not a topic that women would be entertaining.
Prove herself.
Yes, so
You gotta put
inherently
her through her
believe that
paces.
she is not worthy on her own and must prove herself. Right?
Yes. Just like the man must prove himself to become attractive in the first place.
I mean, I think both sides of the relationship need to prove themselves.
But here's the difference. We don't tell that enough to women. That's the issue.
I think it's because
we
lot
tell
of
women that they're perfect just the way that they are, and that's a lie. We tell men all the time you need to rise to the occasion. We got standards on men, but we don't put standards on women. No matter how rude, crass, obnoxious they are, how fat they are, we don't give them any standards.
And I feel like that's mainly because women in society.
We don't tell men love your curves. We tell women that. We don't tell women to do the right thing. We do what's right for you. We tell men do the right thing. Women do what's right for you. So we don't really have societal boundaries on females. And if a man does express societal boundaries,
who's guiding the societal statements? It's men. It's men not supporting men.
Well, that's why I'm here. Tell them the truth.
So let's exclude women and focus on men supporting men.
That's what I'm doing. But for them to understand this stuff, I have to talk about, obviously, this obstacle that's in the way that messes a lot of them up. Because they might go ahead and make money, become successful, but they can't figure out women.
Well, I think a lot of times they can find success without women, and it might even be a faster route.
Success in what regard?
But here's the thing: where let's not be idiots. Most men, majority of men, do everything for the end goal of having a woman. So it's like to exclude women is kind of stupid.
Though, if they want to have a family, they're gonna need a female.
I feel like they should find success before finding the female.
I agree with you on that.
And then they'll find a female that's also successful.
Well, I mean, every guy's different, but men typically don't care about a woman's success.
Okay, but successful for you would mean a traditional feminine trait.
Yeah.
So if he
but
has
it seemed to me
this-
like you meant it in the way where like academic achievement or monetary because you come.
No,
okay.
well, yeah, I'm sorry. I just meant considering
typically don't
your
care about a
version of a
woman's-
woman's success is that.
In general, typically most guys don't care about a woman's ability to create resources.
I mean,
Men don't care about
traditionally, in society.
I mean, in general, like guys don't care about how much money a woman makes or her career.
I would argue that's more of a society evolutionary thing than biological, but
Yeah. Next. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep going. Yeah, we'll see until they kick us out, I guess.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hi, I'm Kenny.
Hi.
I use all pronouns, of course.
Sure.
Yeah. True.
You said. I'm sorry. You said you use what pronoun?
I use all pronouns.
Oh, you use all of them?
Yes.
Okay, you're a she, right?
You could say that. Yes.
Okay. Like that's like calling yourself alpha. I think that's very cheesy and tacky. I think you know, your reputation precedes you. That's what I think it should be, or how it is.
Okay. And you yourself, you say you have a wife, correct?
No, I don't have a wife.
You don't have a wife. Okay. But you do find yourself accompanied with other women, correct?
In what way?
I mean, you could. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like on the show, because like, yeah, we bring girls on our show. and
no,
everything.
no.
Okay. Yeah. So like me dealing with other women?
Yes.
Yeah. What about it?
Okay. Do those other women, value themselves? What kind of career do those women have when they come to you?
I mean, I don't really care about it,
Why not?
because generally speaking, men don't care about a woman's career. We just don't.
But you said you should bring more to the table. So why not a career? Why not a high-paying,
All right. Well,
job?
okay. Let's go through this. So let's say I told you, me and you were on a date, right? And I
Oh,
told
no.
you, hypothetically, again, you could. The purpose is bear with me here. I know you hate me and everything, but yeah.
No, I don't hate you.
So,
I'm just trying to see.
So let's assume, right? We're on a date, and I tell you, hey, look, I have like this awesome Jordan collection. I got these designer wallets. I got like
He's doing
this
his
walk-in closet. It's awesome. What's
Okay.
your thoughts with that?
You buy a lot of expensive things. Yes.
Okay, so what else comes to mind when I'm talking about my obsession for fashion?
You like fashion. You like to dress up, essentially.
Okay, but what's your opinion on that?
What else is my opinion? I'm
So,
gonna say
would it be
that,
fair to
what,
say-
you're a rich man because you can afford Jordan's designer clothes.
Okay,
and
but
everything about
let me ask you this: would it be fair to say that you'd be indifferent to me saying that?
Yes, because
Okay, hold on.
what's the point?
Pause that. Thank you. That's exactly how we feel about women's careers.
What? What do you mean? What are
No,
you
hold on.
talking
No,
about?
I really want you to take that in.
Huh?
That same level of indifference, right, that you have
Uh-huh.
for me having an awesome wardrobe or sneakers or whatever, you're indifferent to it. That's exactly how men feel about women's careers, and I'll explain what I mean by this. Because my wardrobe doesn't benefit you,
Mhm.
right? It doesn't benefit you.
No.
Same thing. A woman's career doesn't benefit us. It doesn't
What?
benefit us because we're still going to be expected to be a protector and a provider. So this is why, in general, men don't care about women's careers. It doesn't benefit us. Just like my shoe collection doesn't benefit you.
But you can't attribute a piece of wardrobe to a career.
I'm just giving you a functional equivalent. Like
Uh-huh.
that's how, like the way you view the whole closet thing. That's how we view women in relationship, women in education and a career. We don't care.
And this is the thing where it's women's fault. I've said this before. It is women's hands. Men are not forcing women to accept men paying for dates. Men aren't forcing it. You know how many times I've heard if a man accepts or demands or asks for a woman to pay for a date or contribute to paying for a date, she said she won't even see him again. She said that she won't even entertain a second date. It is consistently women are the ones who think that men should use their resources on them. I've never heard women saying, "Oh, I'm going to use my resources on a man." Unless it's a birthday, if that. Birthday, maybe a special occasion, if that. And usually it's kind of subpar gifts, subpar things. So really, women how many times have we heard it, right? A man's money is, their money, right? His and hers, while her money is hers. So at the end of the day, her money is relatively useless. And women have pretty much, maybe they haven't created it, but they sustain that ideology.
Okay, so you're saying I should value myself less to achieve a man who will protect me, provide everything I need, basically rich, tall, strong, masculine. Is that what you're saying?
No.
All good, Skull. Thank you for stopping by, my brother. Thank you.
No, I don't think you should value yourself less.
But you said women deserve less, so
Yeah,
therefore,
yeah,
me, I
from the-
deserve less.
Yeah, I don't think men should be simping on women. They got to earn that.
But you clearly haven't earned it yourself, because no one respects you right here.
I'm sorry?
But you clearly don't deserve it either. You're saying men should not be simps for women,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. Men shouldn't be simps for women because they're, let's say, they have too many cons instead of pros. So women should be leaning to more the submissive, the more traditional housewife, not a feminist either.
You're kind of jumbling a bunch of things together. I don't quite understand what you're trying to ask or say
Okay,
here.
so you want, oh, I'm sorry, I'll explain this in crayon eating terms.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Why should not men not be simps? Especially if you're looking for a long-term relationship, let's say a wife, you want to have kids, you want to settle down.
I think you mean why should men not be simps?
Yeah, why shouldn't they?
Well, the problem is that when you're a simp, women don't respect you. Women don't respect simps.
Okay.
They just don't.
So
This
what
is just
if
a reality.
Okay. If it's the other way around, women should not be simps for men.
Well, no, actually, women should simp for their man.
But why?
Why?
Because women deserve
Because-
less?
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because men typically know how to deal with attention and validation from women better than women do, and I'll tell you what I mean by this. So a young man will go through his life a lot of the times, maybe not get a kiss from a girl, maybe not get a gift from a woman, maybe not have a date, whatever it may be. It's really hard for a lot of guys. So when guys get attention or affection from women, we typically tend to remember that, right? Men might go through their entire life without getting a gift, versus a woman, she's going to be courted, she's going to get simps on her all the time. Women don't really know how to appreciate male attention because you guys get so much of it, right? But us, on the other hand, men, especially when they've worked and made themselves attractive, we know how to appreciate women treating us well. But women typically don't know how to appreciate men treating them well. This is why guys get stuck in the friend zone, right? So it's completely different. Because since we don't get the abundance of attention that you guys do, we're able to better appreciate that attention when we do get it. Does that make sense?
So why don't you put yourself out there more? Be more attractive to women, of course.
This is what I tell guys to do. But that takes time.
It takes time.
Takes a lot of time.
to make yourself attractive.
For men, yes. The things that make a man attractive take time to accumulate.
Okay. In your own words, what makes a man attractive?
A bunch of things. Competency, network, income, title, the ability to be a leader, experience. This is basically the things that men need to have in place to be attractive to a large demographic of females.
Okay. What should a man's title be?
I'm sorry?
You said title. What does title mean? And of course, in your standards.
Oh, I mean as in like what he identifies as his career.
As his career?
Yes.
So you're saying...
What he does for a profession.
Okay.
Men are typically defined by their careers.
All right.
And what they do.
All right. So what are women defined as? Instead of, boobs, breasts, and all.
Having a family.
Having a family?
Yes.
And that's
raising the next generation of children and people.
Okay, so you're saying...
I think that's the best thing a woman can do, not her career.
Okay. So men should not be simp for women,
Yep.
not even including their wives?
Well, even with your wife, you don't want to be a simp. Obviously, you don't want to be a pushover. I'm saying treat her well, obviously, but you don't want to be a simp either. Because remember, let me define simp for you. Being a simp is basically showing an unreciprocated amount of attention and validation to a female that's not doing the same.
So what if she is doing the same?
So we have a few more minutes. Let's go to the next person.
You know what, sure. Of course, it's been a pleasure talking
Sure.
with you. Kenny,
No problem.
he, she, they, pronoun.
In a position first where they're attractive in the prize, and then from there, obviously make women work for the validation versus just simping on her.
All right, and then most of the time, you've answered these questions. You've said men like this, men do this, but what men are with you? What other men have you met that want the same things as you? You're saying men think that women's careers don't matter. What men are you talking to that think like this?
Well, what I've realized is typically the more money and status a man has, the less he cares about these things. Now, are there some guys out there that want an egalitarian relationship? Sure. But I would argue that it just simply doesn't work, and we have the data to show that divorce rates are high. We have the lowest marriage rates ever, and it's come because of this whole equality thing. Because on paper, women say they want equality, but it doesn't really work in practice. So But yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys that I know in my network, they want a woman that's gonna, do what she's supposed to do, which is be a homemaker, take care of their children, be submissive and follow their lead.
So when you get a wife, like whenever that is, like what would you want her to do, like as like a career or whatever? You just want her to stay at home while you go and talk to people?
Well, like, being an age, she can assist me with certain things, make things happen. So like for me, for example, my girl runs my real estate for me, so I don't have to worry about that. She runs my real estate portfolio, so that's something I don't have to worry about so much.
So her doing all that for you, you're saying she deserves less than you?
No, that's after a woman has earned that changes things. I'm saying up front when you're going through the courting/vetting process.
All right, so what does she have to do to like earn that for you?
Again, every guy's gonna have different things, but if you're asking me in particular, be submissive, be pleasant, good cook, not a pain in the ass, assist me with things I got going on day to day. Just be helpful, really. Men don't ask for much, man. I think guys are very simple. And that's really it.
All right, so whenever you were talking to one of these other girls, you said like you still have a mom, right?
Yeah.
Well, did you grow up with both parents?
Yes.
And they brought you into this, you said? Like they made you think like this?
My mom was the one that instilled in me from an early age, because I used to have a liberal mindset too when I was in college, thinking like, oh yeah, this equal partnership is gonna work. And when my mom told me this when I was younger, I thought she was just crazy, but the reality is she was right about a lot of this stuff. Finding a woman that's gonna follow your lead and be productive.
I gotcha. So
she trying to rush you?
Yeah, I guess like my conclusion is like, I feel like with a mother and like a girlfriend, like I feel like you can't really say they deserve less or have to earn it. I don't think women have to earn anything. I feel like
okay, so just be given to them, huh?
Yeah, like we don't really have to we don't owe them anything. Like they're brought into this world for a reason. Like our job is to protect them. Like we don't really have to
Okay, so you think just simping on them up front is fine?
No, simping is not like that's not a thing you have to do to like get a woman's attention. Like okay, put it in this perspective. Like the last girl you talked to.
Because you said they don't have to earn anything, right?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So what is that? That doesn't equate to simping.
All right, so if they don't have to earn anything, like they just get your validation, attention, and time and resources.
It depends.
Just off
Okay,
that?
but hear me out.
Oh, now it depends.
So no, it doesn't depend on that. It depends on like they don't owe you anything to like okay, put it in perspective. Let's say you were a girl, you were a guy, whatever. Do you think like I'm attractive like right now? Like looking at me. What do you think?
I mean, you can ask the ladies here. I don't know what they,
I'm
they
asking
want to
you.
vote.
I'm asking you because you put yourself in a predicament where you were dating the last girl. So do you think I'm attractive?
Well, that's kind of I don't like men, man. So
All
I'm the
right,
wrong person
so
to ask.
a couple of the things you said like men have to be strong. You said men have to have a bunch of money before they get married, before they do all that stuff.
Well, they have to have things in place to be attractive to
yeah.
the majority of
all
women.
right, so I can say like I can do a little bit better. Like I can become more attractive. But I have a beautiful girlfriend who like loves me a lot. She's right over there, but like she doesn't like. What
How long
does
you
she
guys been
have to
together?
earn for me?
How long you guys been together?
What since 20? Yeah. Why does that matter?
Well, I think that's oh wow, look at this.
Okay.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I think it's important to see proof of concept. Like, how long you guys been together?
2023.
Okay, so for like 2 years, you guys met here in college?
Yeah. Well, we're freshmen. We've been since high school.
Okay, great.
So like, what did she have to really earn for me? Because I'm like in my book, I'm not a whole lot of attractive. I don't got 100K in the bank.
Here's the thing where, one, if you can stand the test of time, great. All the more power. This is the thing. Most women are not building with men. Most women are not dating their high school sweetheart. That's the thing. Stop. I hate it when a lot of men use personal antidote, personal, situations to shape their argument. When, fine. I mean, if you want to use your personal, life to say what you feel, cool. But that doesn't necessarily make sense when you're talking about a generalized conversation. Most men in college aren't dating their high school sweetheart. So really great for you. You can't use your life to, make a valid conversation, valid point.
But like I still hold the beautiful woman, and she's holding me down. She does she does a lot for me. So like, what does she really have to earn?
She's the breadwinner in your situation?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying that where she doesn't owe me anything.
Okay, so here's the thing, man. You guys are young, but as you age, right? And I'm giving you like some real life like stuff here. As you age, what's going to happen is she's going to put a greater necessity on security, and if you don't rise up to that occasion and become the protector, the provider, and everything else like that, there's going to be a high likelihood that the relationship will end. So
that's my job
look,
as much
it's
as
great
hers.
that you guys met and are like high school sweethearts and stuff, but there definitely is a brand of performance, and as you guys age, her standards are going to lean more towards security.
And I'm going to step up for that.
Perfect, then you're good. So
Yeah,
look, there's
you're
no
right.
real, that's
All
fine.
right,
As long as you adhere to your duties, then you're good. So,
all right. Have a good day.
All right, man. Okay. Who's up next? What happened? Oh.
What do you guys think? I thought it was I thought it was fun. I always like a lot of Myron's takes, so I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. I want to check out the other one, so stay tuned for others. I mean, if you guys like it, cool. If you guys don't, I mean, it is what it is. I like it, you know. So I want to stream it. I want to check it out. I want to react to it. So I thought it was cool. But hope if you guys like it, that'd be awesome. But yes. Thank you for the support. Thank you for at least stopping by. Thank you for checking out the live. You know, Skull, thank you, my brother. Alvi, thank you for stopping by. Just, you're amazing. Elk was here. Blue Exodus, love you, my brother. Yes, and everyone else who's just checking out the live. Thank you for at least watching or at least stopping by. But yeah,